We all have habits, some good, some bad. But here's the truth. The bad ones can hold you back from becoming the person you want to be. Weak habits drain your energy, waste your time, and keep you stuck in the same place. If you're tired of feeling like you're not reaching your full potential, if you're ready to make real change, then it's time to start taking control. In this script, we're going to dive deep into how to educate your mind and transform those weak habits into powerful, productive ones. This isn't about some quick fix or a magic solution. It's about changing your mindset, making intentional choices, and building daily routines that will set you up for success. You'll learn how to identify the habits that are holding you back, how to replace them with habits that push you forward, and how to stay committed to your growth even when things get tough. The road to personal growth is not easy. It's going to take work, focus, and determination, but it's worth every ounce of effort. When you start making small, intentional changes every day, you'll begin to see the bigger picture. How your habits shape your life, your success, and your future. And let me tell you, the journey to building better habits, stronger discipline, and lasting success is one you'll never regret. So, if you're ready to finally kill those weak habits and start building the life you've always wanted, stick with me. You're about to learn how to take control step by step and create lasting change. Let's get started. Chapter: Train your thoughts to reject weak decisions daily. Every day you wake up, you face a quiet war. Not a war of noise and explosions, but a mental battle. A war of choices. Before you even speak to anyone, before the day really starts, your mind is already at work deciding which direction you'll take. It decides whether you'll push forward with purpose or fall back into old habits. And in that small, invisible space between thinking and doing, everything in your life is shaped. Weak decisions don't announce themselves. They don't show up with warning signs or red flags. They sneak in disguised as comfort, convenience, or even logic. They tell you it's okay to sleep a little longer. You've done enough for today, or you can always start tomorrow. These thoughts seem harmless in the moment, but over time they build a lifestyle, and that lifestyle reflects whether you're growing stronger or drifting further away from your true potential. The quality of your life is directly tied to the quality of your decisions. Every single day, your mind makes choices that either move you closer to discipline or keep you stuck in patterns that weaken your purpose. If you want to change your life, you have to change what you allow your mind to accept. You must train your thoughts like an athlete trains their body consistently, deliberately, and without compromise. Strong thoughts don't appear out of nowhere. They're built. They're earned through repetition and daily commitment. And they begin with awareness. The first step in rejecting weak decisions is recognizing them in real time. Most people operate on autopilot, doing what feels easiest or most familiar without even noticing it. You can't fix what you're not aware of. So, every time your mind tells you to take the easy way out, catch it. Pay attention to those thoughts. Bring them into the light and examine them. Ask yourself one question. Will this decision make me stronger or weaker? That one question asked honestly can change everything. If a thought leads to skipping a workout, eating poorly, avoiding responsibility, or wasting time, you already know it's weakening you. Don't let it slide. Don't negotiate with it. Reject it firmly and move in the opposite direction. The more you do this, the more power you gain over your mind. And that power builds discipline, confidence, and resilience. You weren't born with weak habits. You learned them somewhere along the way. You got comfortable settling for less than your best. But what's learned can be unlearned, and what's unlearned can be replaced with something better. Your job now is to become the kind of person who refuses to tolerate weakness in thought or action. That doesn't mean being perfect. It means being intentional. It means seeing every moment as a chance to grow, to choose strength over comfort, and to walk away from anything that doesn't serve your highest standard. When you reject a weak decision, even once, you shift the balance inside your mind. You start to rewire the way you respond to challenges. That snooze button becomes a test of character. That junk food becomes a reminder of how much you value your health. That lazy excuse becomes an alarm signaling that your old self is trying to pull you back. Every small rejection is a message to yourself. I'm no longer who I used to be, and that message repeated daily becomes your new identity. But don't expect it to be easy. Your mind will resist change. It will try to pull you back into the familiar, because that's where it feels safe. You'll have moments where doubt creeps in, where the pressure to take the easy way gets heavy. That's where mental training matters most. The same way a muscle gets stronger under tension, your mind becomes sharper under challenge. The more you say no to weakness, the more powerful your thinking becomes. And over time, those once tempting decisions lose their grip. You have to treat weak thoughts like poison. One drop might not kill you, but if you keep drinking it every day, it will destroy your focus, discipline, and potential. You don't become undisciplined overnight. You fall one small decision at a time. So, train yourself to act with urgency when weakness shows up. Don't delay. Don't wait for motivation. Take action immediately. If your mind says skip the gym, go even harder. If it says relax and procrastinate, get to work now. Action kills doubt. Movement silences weakness. The truth is, discipline isn't a gift. It's a decision, and it's made not once, but over and over throughout the day. The people who live with discipline didn't stumble into it. They built it. They trained their thoughts to serve their goals, not their moods. They stopped listening to the lazy voice inside and started leading their life with standards. You can do the same, but you have to be honest with yourself. Weak thoughts will always sound reasonable. That's their trick. They'll come dressed as rest, as reward, as logic. But if the result of that thought leaves you stuck, ashamed or further from your goals, you already know what it is. There's a moment in every day when you feel that urge to back down. Maybe it's in the morning when it's cold and you don't want to get out of bed. Maybe it's in the evening when your mind says you deserve to scroll, or binge, or check out. That's your testing ground. That's the moment where your future is being shaped. If you want to train your thoughts to reject weakness, you have to go to war in those exact moments and win. That means planning ahead. Don't just hope to be disciplined. Design your day in a way that protects you from weak decisions. Build structure, set alarms, prepare your meals. Put your phone away when you're working. Write your priorities down. Build a system that supports the strong version of you. Discipline isn't about being superhuman. It's about removing as many chances to make weak decisions as possible. And yes, you will fail. Sometimes you'll slip. You'll catch yourself halfway through an old habit and realize you gave in again. That's not the end. That's part of the training. What matters is what you do next. Do you stop and say, "This isn't me anymore"? Do you turn the day around? Or do you fall deeper into weakness because it's easier? Every comeback is a victory. Every time you interrupt a pattern, you reclaim a piece of your power. You should also speak to yourself like someone who expects greatness. Most people allow weak thoughts to sit in their mind unchecked. They think things like, "I'm just lazy. I'll never be consistent. I always mess this up." Those thoughts are shaping your identity. They're writing the script you follow, and if you keep repeating them, you'll live them out. So stop. Choose new words. Speak to yourself like someone you believe in. Say, "I do hard things." Say, "I show up even when I don't feel like it." Say, "I don't back down." These aren't just affirmations. They're reminders of who you're becoming. The mind is like a mirror. It reflects whatever you keep putting in front of it. If you constantly feed it weakness, it will reflect weakness. If you feed it strength, courage, and clarity, it will reflect those back to you. And over time, you won't just be someone trying to be disciplined. You'll become someone who is disciplined, someone whose thoughts no longer entertain weakness as an option. Don't underestimate the power of one strong decision. That one time you get up early, push through a workout, stay focused, or say no to an old habit, it adds up. These small wins compound. They give you momentum, and the more wins you stack, the less room you leave for failure to sneak in. But remember, it all starts in the mind. Every action begins with a thought. If you want to build a strong life, build strong thoughts first. Don't wait for the perfect day. Don't wait to feel ready. Start now. Train your thoughts every morning to recognize the difference between strength and weakness. Throughout the day, remind yourself what matters. Protect your standards like your life depends on them, because it does. Your life, your goals, your peace of mind. It all depends on whether or not you choose to lead your thoughts or let them lead you. There's a version of you that never gives into weakness. That version is already inside you. It's not something you have to find outside. You build it from within. You wake up and you choose not to negotiate with the voice that wants comfort. You choose to keep moving even when the path is hard. You choose to live like your time is valuable, because it is. And the more you live that way, the more that strong version of you becomes real. There will always be two voices in your head. One will beg for comfort. The other will call you to discipline. The one you listen to the most will shape your life. Make sure it's the one that moves you forward. So start now. Train your thoughts to reject weak decisions. Not once, not sometimes, but every single day. Show up when it's hard. Rise above your moods. Silence the noise that weakens your focus. And live with the kind of discipline that builds greatness. One strong thought at a time. Chapter 2. Build strong daily routines that improve your mindset. Your life doesn't change in one big moment. It changes in the small hours of the morning, when no one is watching. It changes when you decide how to spend your time, how to speak to yourself, and what you prioritize before the world gets busy. The way you live your days becomes the way you live your life. And the most powerful way to take control of your life is by building strong daily routines that shape your mindset and keep you grounded in growth. Most people wake up every day and immediately fall into reaction. They check their phone, scroll through noise, absorb other people's thoughts, and enter the world mentally unprepared. That's the easiest way to lose control of your life, by handing over your attention before you've even claimed the day for yourself. Your mind needs structure, not chaos. It needs a plan, not noise. When you live without a routine, you invite randomness into your life. But when you create structure and stick to it, you start to shape the way you think, feel, and act on a deeper level. A strong routine doesn't just help you do more. It helps you become more. Because your routine is not about tasks, it's about identity. Every time you do something with intention, you tell yourself, "This is who I am." If you wake up early, move your body, take care of your priorities, and stay committed to what matters, your mind begins to see you as someone reliable. And that changes how you approach everything. But a routine is not built overnight. It's a process of alignment. You don't need different habits. You need a few consistent ones that serve your growth. The goal is not to fill your day with meaningless activity, but to build a rhythm that sharpens your focus and supports your values. So, start small. Start with what matters most. The first hour of your day should belong to you, not to your phone, not to distractions, not to the noise of the world. You, that first hour, is where you set the tone. It's where you remind yourself of your goals, your standards, and your direction. When you take ownership of your morning, you prepare your mind to handle anything that comes. And that doesn't mean rushing through a checklist. It means being present with what you do. Whether it's writing down your goals, reading something meaningful, stretching your body, or sitting in silence to breathe, it's about creating space to think clearly and start strong. Your routine is a commitment to discipline. And discipline is the foundation of a healthy mindset. When your days have structure, your mind doesn't have to waste energy deciding what to do next. It becomes automatic. It becomes easier to stay focused, to avoid distractions, and to take meaningful action. But when you leave your day to chance, you leave yourself open to weakness. That's when old habits creep in. That's when excuses start to sound convincing. Without a strong routine, your life becomes a reaction instead of a direction. You have to be honest with yourself. Look at how you spend your mornings. Look at how you end your nights. Ask yourself if those habits reflect the life you're trying to build. If not, it's time to reset. Cut the distractions. Remove the habits that steal your energy. Replace them with something better. You don't need more time. You need better structure. And that starts with intention. Be intentional with your hours. Don't let your day be guided by what feels easy. Let it be guided by what builds your character. Strong routines aren't built on motivation. They're built on clarity. You need to know what you're doing and why it matters. When you understand your reason, it's easier to show up even when it's hard. So, define your vision. Write down what kind of person you're becoming. What does that person do every morning? How do they think? How do they show up for themselves? Once you're clear on that, your routine becomes more than a habit. It becomes a mirror of who you are. You also need to protect your routine. Life will try to interrupt it. People will pull on your time. Emergencies will show up. But no matter what happens, your routine must remain a priority. Even if it's just a shortened version, even if it means waking up earlier or adjusting your schedule, don't break the rhythm. The more consistent you are, the more natural it becomes. And when your routine becomes non-negotiable, your mindset becomes unshakable. There's something powerful about doing the same small things every day with discipline. It teaches you patience. It shows you that success isn't about doing everything at once. It's about doing the right things repeatedly. Your mind grows stronger when you do what you said you'd do, especially on the days when you don't feel like it. Those are the days that define you. Anyone can show up when it's easy. It takes strength to stay disciplined when everything around you tempts you to drift. But that's the point. The purpose of a strong routine isn't to impress anyone. It's to prepare you. It's to help you build the mental clarity and emotional stability to navigate life with purpose. When your routine is solid, stress doesn't shake you as much. Distractions don't pull you off course as easily. You respond with more control and less reactivity. That's because your routine gives your mind a framework to operate from. You don't have to constantly decide what to do. You already know, and that certainty builds confidence. Don't wait for the perfect schedule. Start with what you have. Wake up minutes earlier. Create a simple plan for your day the night before. Choose 3 things every morning that center you and make you feel grounded. Maybe it's journaling, a short walk, or reading something that shifts your thinking. Whatever it is, do it with presence. Don't rush it. The point is not just to check a box. It's to build the kind of mindset that moves with strength, not stress. There's power in routine because it keeps you connected to your values. It reminds you that your life is your responsibility. It shows you that growth doesn't happen in one big leap, but in thousands of small, consistent steps. You don't have to change everything today. You just have to show up with discipline. Because every day you stick to your routine. You make a statement. You say, "My goals matter. My time matters. My growth matters." And the more you say that, the more your life begins to align with it. You also start to value your time differently. When your day is structured, you stop wasting energy on things that don't matter. You become more selective about what you allow into your mind and space. That alone will change your life. Most people are overwhelmed not because they have too much to do, but because they've allowed too much of the wrong things to fill their time. Your routine protects you from that. It filters out what's irrelevant and keeps you focused on what counts. Strong routines also build momentum. One good decision leads to another. 1 hour of focus makes the rest of your day more productive. When you start your day strong, you build a rhythm that carries you, and that rhythm creates results. Not just external results like productivity or success, but internal results like peace of mind, self-respect, and clarity. Those are the results that matter most because they stay with you even when things around you fall apart. When your routine becomes a habit, your confidence rises. You trust yourself more. You don't doubt your ability to follow through because you've proven it to yourself over and over. That trust becomes a foundation you can build on. And it's built in the quiet hours, the hours when it's just you and your goals. No distractions, no noise, just the work. And it's in that work that you grow, not just in skill, but in identity. You become someone who leads themselves instead of being led by the world. If your routine is weak, your mindset will be unstable. If your routine is strong, your mindset becomes a weapon. A sharp mind leads a focused life, and a focused life creates results that last. So take your routine seriously. Protect it, refine it, stay loyal to it. Because the strength of your routine reflects the strength of your commitment to yourself. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up every day with purpose. It's about making the decision again and again to live with discipline instead of drifting into distraction. The small moments you stay consistent matter more than you think. They add up. They shape your character and they move you closer to the life you know you're capable of living. So, start today. Build a routine that reflects your values, supports your mindset, and protects your peace. Make it simple. Make it strong. And most importantly, make it yours. Because at the end of the day, the routine you build will either move you forward or keep you stuck. And only you can choose which one it will be. Chapter 3. Eliminate distractions that slow down your self-growth. Growth requires attention, not scattered attention, not divided focus, but full and deliberate attention. Every day your mind is being pulled in 1,000 directions. And the real question is not whether you're working hard. It's whether you're working on what matters. The truth is, most people are not lacking effort. They are drowning in distractions that quietly rob them of the clarity and consistency required to grow. If you don't eliminate those distractions, they will slowly destroy your progress without you even noticing. What holds most people back isn't lack of talent, it's lack of focus. And that lack of focus comes from entertaining too many things that don't deserve your energy. The human brain is not designed to multitask across different priorities all day. You can't read something meaningful, plan your goals, have a conversation, check your phone, and respond to a notification all at the same time and expect clarity. That's not focus. That's noise. And when your day is full of noise, your growth becomes chaotic. You lose track of what really matters. You forget what you were aiming for. You allow yourself to drift into activity instead of moving with direction. Distractions don't just slow you down. They change the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you show up in your life. You can't grow deeply when you're constantly pulled toward the shallow, and the shallow shows up everywhere on your screen, in your conversations, in the things you say yes to just because it's easier than saying no. Every time you entertain something meaningless, you trade away time that could have been invested in something valuable. Growth demands a certain kind of discipline. It demands that you protect your mental space like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. The quality of your life is directly tied to the quality of your attention. If you give your best energy to distractions, you will live a distracted life. If you learn to direct your energy with precision, everything changes. You need to take an honest look at how you spend your time. What do you reach for when you're bored? What do you do when you wake up? What do you allow into your mind before you've even had time to think for yourself? These small decisions repeated daily shape your mind more than you realize. They program your thoughts. They influence your behavior. They define your habits. Distractions are not always loud or obvious. Often they come disguised as comfort, as entertainment, as a break. But the more you choose what's easy over what's essential, the more you condition yourself to stay in the same place. The uncomfortable truth is that your growth will always require sacrifice. You can't keep all your habits and expect to evolve. Some things have to go. Some habits need to be unlearned. Some environments need to be left. Some patterns need to be broken. You can't grow into your highest self while staying emotionally tied to the very things that keep you small. And distractions are usually just that, emotional habits that make you feel better temporarily but cost you in the long run. If you want to grow, you need to eliminate anything that consistently pulls you away from your highest priorities. This means auditing your digital habits. It means being intentional with your screen time. It means turning off notifications that steal your attention every minute. It means unfollowing accounts that make you feel insecure, angry, or distracted. It means deleting apps that serve no purpose other than to fill the silence, because in that silence you meet yourself, and most people are running from that. But growth lives in the quiet. It lives in the moments when you're not distracted. It lives in stillness, in reflection, in deep work, in doing the hard things that require you to think, to feel, to act with presence. Distractions numb that. They keep you stimulated just enough to feel busy, but never fulfilled. They give you something to do without giving you something to build. They steal your time in pieces, minutes here, an hour there, and before you know it, another day is gone, and your goals are still waiting. To truly eliminate distractions, you must redefine what matters. You must get brutally clear about what you want to build in your life and who you want to become. Without that clarity, everything will feel like an option. But once you're clear, your decisions become simple. Not easy, but simple. If it moves you forward, keep it. If it doesn't, remove it. That's how you create space. That's how you protect your growth. You also need to become less available. Your attention is not public property. It's not something you owe to everyone who asks for it. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to put your phone on silent. You are allowed to protect your time without guilt. Growth requires solitude, not loneliness. Solitude, time away from distractions, so you can build focus, develop discipline, and stay aligned with your values. If you're always responding to something, you're never creating anything. You need time to think clearly, and that means being unreachable sometimes. Distractions aren't just digital. They come in the form of unhealthy conversations. People who constantly complain, gossip, or drain your energy, environments that keep you stuck in old habits. You have to be honest about who and what is slowing you down. Growth isn't personal for everyone around you, but it has to be personal to you. If someone or something consistently interrupts your peace or progress, it needs to be reevaluated. Not everything that's familiar is good for your future. You must become the guardian of your attention, the one who decides what enters and what gets rejected, the one who protects their mental environment the same way they would protect their physical home, because everything you allow into your mind has an impact. If you feed it junk, don't expect it to produce clarity. If you fill it with noise, don't expect it to generate wisdom. Your mind is shaped by what you consume and how often you consume it. And distractions are nothing more than junk for the brain. Eliminating distractions doesn't mean you live like a monk. It means you become conscious. Conscious of your habits, conscious of your triggers, conscious of the moments when you're choosing easy over meaningful. It means you take full responsibility for what you allow to steal your time. Most distractions aren't forced on you. You invite them in, and that means you have the power to shut them out. You just have to want clarity more than you want comfort. This is not about perfection. You will get distracted sometimes. That's human. But the goal is not to eliminate every slip. The goal is to make distraction the exception, not the pattern. And that starts with awareness. Pay attention to your patterns. Notice where your time goes. Ask yourself at the end of the day, did I invest my attention in what matters, or did I waste it on things that didn't? That one question can help you realign faster than any productivity system. Distractions are easy. Discipline is hard, but discipline is where your growth lives. The more disciplined you become with your time and focus, the more momentum you build. And with momentum comes confidence, not just because you're getting more done, but because you're honoring yourself. Every time you choose focus over distraction, you build self-respect. You show yourself that your growth is worth it, that your goals matter, that your future is not something you're hoping for. It's something you're working for. And don't wait until life gets quieter to eliminate distractions. That day won't come. There will always be noise. There will always be things competing for your attention. So the real question is, will you protect your growth even when life is busy? Will you choose discipline even when comfort is tempting? Will you focus even when distraction is easy? That's what separates those who grow from those who stay stuck. The work is not glamorous. It's not exciting. It's often boring. But it's in that boring consistency that the real transformation happens. Growth doesn't come from intensity. It comes from intentionality, from choosing to focus on what matters and letting go of what doesn't, from waking up every day and making the decision again and again to stay aligned with your purpose. Distractions will always exist, but their power over you is optional. You don't need to control the world. You just need to control your focus. And that starts now. Take your time back. Take your attention back. Reclaim your day. Reclaim your mind. You have goals that require your full presence. You have a future that demands your attention, and you will never reach it if you keep feeding your distractions more than you feed your discipline. This is the truth. What you focus on grows. So, choose wisely. Chapter: Discipline your mind to ignore short-term pleasure. Every day you're faced with choices that either serve your future or satisfy your momentary cravings. Most people lean towards the latter, not because they're weak, but because they haven't trained their minds to wait. They haven't built the inner strength to say no to something that feels good now, in exchange for something greater later. The world today is built around instant results. Fast food, fast scrolling, fast replies, fast approval. But fast doesn't equal meaningful. And if you keep giving in to what feels good immediately, you rob yourself of the deeper satisfaction that only comes from patience, discipline, and long-term thinking. You don't need more motivation. You need more self-control. The people who rise above their circumstances and truly evolve are not driven by impulses. They're driven by purpose. They've learned to sit with their emotions instead of reacting to them. They've practiced delaying gratification so they can invest in what actually improves their life. That's the power of disciplining your mind to pause when you feel pulled towards something shallow, and instead act from intention. This is how you start building a life that is rooted in strength, not weakness. Short-term pleasure shows up in many forms. Junk food when you're stressed, entertainment when you're avoiding work, scrolling when you should be learning, sleeping in when you promised yourself a productive morning. It's easy to reach for what comforts you in the moment. It requires nothing from you. No courage, no awareness, no discipline. But growth only happens when you stop doing what's easy and start doing what's necessary. You have to understand that comfort is a liar. It tricks you into staying the same. It makes you believe that you have time. It tells you there's no rush, but there is. Every time you give in to a short-term pleasure, you're choosing temporary relief over lasting fulfillment. You're choosing to feel good for a moment at the cost of feeling proud for a lifetime. That's a bad trade. Yet, most people make it every single day, and the worst part is they don't even realize it. They don't see how much it's costing them until years go by, and they're still stuck in the same patterns, repeating the same habits, feeling the same frustration, and wondering why nothing has changed. If you want to break that cycle, you have to start by becoming aware of your impulses, notice them without acting on them. That's how self-discipline begins. It's not about suppressing your feelings. It's about understanding them and making a stronger decision anyway. Most of the time, the thing you want right now is not the thing you truly need. And until you learn to tell the difference, you'll keep making decisions that keep you small. Disciplining your mind is not about living a rigid or joyless life. It's about learning to choose what aligns with your values instead of chasing what numbs your discomfort. It's about having the strength to delay what you want in this moment so you can build a life that actually feels meaningful. You'll never grow if you only act when it feels good. Growth is painful. Progress is uncomfortable. Real change comes from doing the things you don't want to do, but doing them anyway because you know they matter. The uncomfortable work is the foundation of every meaningful achievement. It's waking up early when you want to sleep in. It's saying no to distractions when your mind wants a break. It's preparing your meals instead of grabbing what's easy. It's going to the gym even when you're tired. It's showing up for your goals even when no one else is watching. These decisions might not feel rewarding in the moment, but that's exactly why they are powerful. They strengthen your discipline. They teach you how to lead yourself. They remind you that you are not a slave to your emotions. The greatest freedom you'll ever experience is the freedom that comes from mastering yourself, not needing to chase every desire, not being controlled by every craving. That kind of strength builds confidence from the inside out. It teaches you that your mind is not a battlefield. It's a tool. And the more you train it to follow your purpose instead of your pleasures, the more unstoppable you become. This process requires daily commitment. It's not something you master in a week. But every time you resist a temptation, you build mental muscle. Every time you choose progress over pleasure, you deepen your integrity. You become someone who can trust themselves. And that trust is the foundation of lasting success. Because once you know you can count on yourself, everything changes. You no longer wait for the right conditions. You create them. You stop hoping for results. You start building them. And that shift is everything. You must also understand that short-term pleasure often comes from avoiding pain. And that avoidance is what holds you back the most. Most people run from discomfort instead of facing it. But your fear, your stress, your boredom, your frustration, these are not enemies. They are signals. They are opportunities to grow. But you can't use them if you keep escaping them. You have to sit with them. You have to feel them fully. That's the only way you gain control over them. When you stop fearing discomfort, you stop needing constant pleasure. That's when you gain real freedom. It's also important to shift the way you view discipline. Don't think of it as punishment. Think of it as self-respect. Discipline is how you prove to yourself that your goals matter. It's how you show up for your future self. Every time you say no to a quick fix, you say yes to your long-term growth. That kind of decision-making builds a powerful sense of identity. You stop being the person who gives up and start becoming the person who shows up even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. This is how you rewire your habits by consistently choosing what builds you rather than what numbs you. And you don't have to change everything at once. Start small. Pick one area of your life where short-term pleasure has been running the show. Replace it with one action that supports your growth. Stay consistent. Watch your mindset shift. Watch your energy shift. Watch your results shift. This is how real transformation happens. Not in huge overnight changes, but in daily decisions that stack up over time. One of the most practical things you can do is create systems that support discipline. If your environment is full of temptations, it's only a matter of time before you give in. So, set up your life to make discipline easier. Remove distractions. Plan your meals. Schedule your time. Turn off notifications. Create routines that eliminate the need for willpower. Because the truth is, even the strongest people don't rely on willpower alone. They design their life to support their values. You must do the same. Surround yourself with people who hold themselves to a higher standard. Discipline is contagious. If you're constantly around people who chase short-term pleasures, it will be harder to resist. But if you're around people who prioritize growth, who value discipline, who stay committed to their goals, even when it's inconvenient, you'll rise to their level. Your environment plays a massive role in shaping your habits. Choose it wisely. The battle between short-term pleasure and long-term progress is not something you fight once. It's something you face daily. And the more you win those small battles, the more confidence you build. Eventually, you no longer need to fight as hard. The temptations lose their grip. The cravings fade because your standards rise. Your identity evolves. You become someone who is not controlled by urges, but guided by purpose. Most people settle because they haven't felt the power of discipline long enough. They haven't stayed consistent long enough to see the results. But if you stay with it, if you commit to it with everything you have, discipline will give you more freedom than any pleasure ever could. Freedom from regret. freedom from inconsistency, freedom from being stuck, freedom from living below your potential. You don't have to hate pleasure. You just have to stop making it your priority. Life is not about avoiding all comfort. It's about earning it. It's about creating a life where the rewards come from your growth, not from your avoidance of growth. The real joy is not in the quick hit of dopamine. It's in the quiet pride of knowing you honored yourself when no one else was watching. That's the reward of discipline. A life you can be proud of. A mind that's clear. A body that's healthy. A routine that supports your purpose. A future that feels earned, not lucky. That's what you're really after. And every time you say no to short-term pleasure, you're saying yes to that future. This is your reminder that you're not here to live on autopilot. You're not here to chase shallow highs. You're not here to escape discomfort. You're here to grow. You're here to evolve. You're here to become someone stronger than your excuses and greater than your cravings. The work is hard, but you are not fragile. You are built to rise, and every time you discipline your mind, you move closer to the life you were meant to live. Keep going, stay focused, say no to what weakens you, say yes to what builds you. Your future is waiting. Chapter: Create a clear plan for your daily goals. Every day is an opportunity to either move forward or stay stuck. But without a clear plan, your day can easily become a blur of distractions, impulses, and wasted time. You wake up with good intentions, but end the day feeling like you've accomplished very little. That sense of frustration doesn't come from laziness. It comes from a lack of structure. Clarity is what turns chaos into direction. If you don't create a plan, you'll spend your time reacting instead of acting. And if you keep living in reaction mode, your goals will remain dreams instead of becoming reality. You don't need a complicated system or a fancy app to get your life on track. You just need a clear, focused, and realistic plan that helps you aim your energy at what actually matters. When you start your day with direction, your mind stops wandering. You stop wasting time on the unimportant. You become intentional. That shift in mindset can transform your entire life. You no longer wake up and ask what the day will bring. Instead, you decide what you will bring to the day. Most people live without a sense of urgency because they haven't broken their big goals into small, doable actions. They keep thinking about the future they want, but they don't design their day in a way that builds toward it. Your goals will never feel achievable if you don't make them part of your daily life. That's the key. You need to take what feels distant and make it real by turning it into steps that you can take today. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. Start by being brutally honest about what matters most to you. What are the things that will move your life forward? What are the actions that actually make a difference? Once you know that, those things become non-negotiables in your daily plan. Don't crowd your day with different goals. That leads to burnout. Focus on 3 to 5 things that matter. When you accomplish those, you win the day. That simple. Habit builds consistency and momentum over time. You become someone who finishes what they start. A clear plan keeps you grounded in the present. It reminds you that your future is being shaped by what you do now. Without that reminder, it's too easy to drift. You fall back into mindless routines. You delay your priorities. You forget what's important. But when you have a plan, you stay focused. You hold yourself accountable. You move with purpose. And that kind of movement is rare in a world full of distractions. To create an effective daily plan, begin the night before. Don't wait until the morning when you're already rushed or distracted. Take 2 minutes before bed to map out your next day. Write down your top goals. Define your tasks clearly. Assign them to specific times. That way, when you wake up, you already know what needs to be done. You don't waste energy deciding. You go straight into action. That alone will put you ahead of most people. Use a simple method to structure your time. Block out your day into focused chunks. Allocate time for deep work, movement, rest, and learning. Keep your phone away during work periods. Eliminate anything that doesn't support your goals. If something isn't helping you grow, remove it. Your time is too valuable to waste on things that don't serve your future. Another important aspect of your daily plan is flexibility. Life will throw unexpected things at you. Your plan should be strong, but not rigid. If something urgent comes up, adapt. Shift things around, but don't abandon the entire day. Do what you can with the time you have. Perfection is not the goal. Consistency is. Even a partial plan followed with discipline is better than no plan at all. Your mind becomes stronger when it follows structure. A clear plan gives your brain a target. It reduces stress. It increases focus. It keeps you from overthinking. And most importantly, it teaches you to lead yourself. You stop waiting for someone else to tell you what to do. You take full ownership of your day, your energy, your growth. Don't underestimate the power of writing things down. When your goals live in your head, they're easy to ignore. But when you put them on paper, they become real. You see them, you feel responsible for them. That small act changes how you approach your day. It's no longer vague, it's specific. That specificity builds clarity, and clarity builds results. Your daily plan should also reflect your values. Don't just fill it with tasks, fill it with purpose. If family matters to you, make time for it. If health is important, plan your workouts and meals. If you want to grow mentally, schedule time for reading and reflection. Your life becomes meaningful when your schedule aligns with who you want to be. Stop living a life that's out of sync with your priorities. You must also protect your mornings. How you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Don't start by grabbing your phone. Don't check emails or social media right away. Begin with presence. Get quiet. Move your body. Review your plan. Affirm your goals. Prepare your mind. That small window of time before the world rushes in is where your strength is built. Use it wisely. Keep your planning simple. The goal is not to overwhelm yourself. The goal is to create direction and follow it with discipline. You don't need to plan every minute, but you do need to know what your key tasks are and when you're going to do them. That level of clarity removes friction. You stop second-guessing. You stop hesitating. You act with intention. Track your progress throughout the day. As you complete tasks, check them off. That small win reinforces your confidence. It gives you momentum. At the end of the day, take 5 minutes to review what you did, what worked, what didn't, What can be improved tomorrow? That feedback loop is how you grow. Don't skip it. Reflection is how you turn experience into wisdom. Don't wait to feel motivated before creating your plan. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Discipline is what keeps you moving forward. When motivation fades, and the best way to stay disciplined is to follow a plan that you've created with intention, a plan that reflects your priorities, a plan that supports your vision. When you start planning your days with clarity, you stop living by default. You stop chasing busyness. You stop getting distracted by what doesn't matter. Instead, you build momentum toward your vision. You become focused, intentional, and productive. You build habits that support your goals, and those habits shape your future. There will be days when you fall behind. That's okay. You're not aiming for perfection. You're aiming for progress. If your plan didn't go as expected, adjust it, learn from it, refocus, get back on track. The key is not to quit. The key is to keep showing up. Every day is a new chance to get better. Remember, goals don't come to life through wishful thinking. They come to life through daily action. You have to work for what you want. You have to be clear about what matters and disciplined in how you pursue it. That clarity starts with a daily plan. It gives you control. It keeps you aligned. It brings structure to your ambition. There is no magic to success. It's simply a series of small, intentional actions repeated consistently over time. And the best way to make those actions part of your life is to plan for them. Don't leave your day to chance. Don't rely on memory. Don't assume you'll remember everything. Create a structure. Write things down. Follow through. That's what separates those who grow from those who stay stuck. You already have the ability to do this. You don't need to wait for the perfect time. You don't need to have it all figured out. Start where you are. Use what you have. Focus on one day at a time. Create a simple plan. Follow it with focus. Track your results. Reflect and refine. Then repeat. That's how you build a life of purpose and progress. Your time is the most valuable asset you have. Use it wisely. Don't trade your future for short-term comfort or mindless activity. Every hour you spend should bring you closer to your vision. If it doesn't, it's time to make a change. A clear plan helps you stay honest. It shows you where your time is going. It keeps you aligned with your highest goals. At the end of your life, you won't regret the plans you made. You'll regret the time you wasted not having one. You'll regret the opportunities you missed because you were distracted. You'll regret not taking your life more seriously. Don't wait for that moment. Start now. Take control. Plan your days like your future depends on it, because it does. You were not born to drift. You were born to rise. You were born to live with clarity, direction, and purpose. That begins with creating a daily plan and following it with discipline. Build your life one day at a time. Build it with intention. Build it with focus. Build it with action. That's how you turn your goals into reality. That's how you become the person you were meant to be. Keep going. Stay disciplined. Stay clear. Your future is waiting. Chapter: Focus on your strengths and remove mental noise. Your mind is your most powerful tool, but it can also be your greatest obstacle if you don't learn to manage it. Every day you're surrounded by noise, opinions, comparisons, doubts, distractions, and irrelevant information, fighting for your attention. That noise clouds your thinking, weakens your focus, and leads you to chase what doesn't truly matter. If you don't take control of your mental environment, it will control you. And when that happens, your strengths get buried under unnecessary pressure and confusion. You end up spending more time trying to prove yourself to others than using your abilities to build the life you want. To create meaningful progress, you have to develop a clear mind. A mind that is disciplined enough to ignore what doesn't serve your vision. That clarity allows you to recognize your strengths and apply them with precision. Everyone has strengths, but not everyone uses them well. Most people are too busy trying to fix their weaknesses or compare themselves to others to notice what they naturally do well. But your real growth starts when you stop trying to be someone else and start refining what you already have. Focusing on your strengths doesn't mean ignoring your flaws. It means building your foundation on what you do best and allowing that to carry you through challenges. Mental noise is often a result of consuming too much and reflecting too little. You take in constant information, but you rarely pause to think deeply. That lack of stillness creates clutter. You overthink, second-guesses yourself, and become emotionally reactive. To grow, you must remove the excess. You must cut off the voices that don't align with your purpose. Unfollow accounts that drain you. Stop absorbing content that only makes you feel behind. Filter what you allow into your mind the same way you'd protect your home. If something doesn't add value, it doesn't belong. Once the noise is reduced, your true voice starts to rise. That voice is grounded, focused, and authentic. It's the part of you that knows what you're capable of, but has been buried under the weight of other people's expectations. That's the voice you need to trust because it sees clearly. It knows where you're strong, and it knows what needs work. It doesn't seek attention. It seeks truth. The more you listen to that inner voice, the more confident and calm you become. That confidence allows you to stop wasting time trying to meet external standards and start living according to your internal standards. Focusing on your strengths gives you momentum. When you lean into what you're good at, you perform with greater efficiency and impact. You stop struggling to be average in areas that don't matter. You shift your energy toward building depth in your natural talents. That depth is what leads to excellence. The world doesn't reward people who try to do everything. It rewards people who do a few things with mastery. Your job is to identify those few things and go all in on them. But your strengths won't grow unless you protect the mental space they need to thrive. That means creating a lifestyle that supports your focus. Cut down on unnecessary conversations. Reduce multitasking. Avoid environments that pull your attention in different directions. Schedule blocks of time where you can work in silence. Get rid of background noise physically and mentally. Even a small amount of intentional silence each day helps your mind reset and stay sharp. Strength isn't just about skill. It's also about emotional control. You can be talented, but if your mind is constantly flooded with doubt, fear, or insecurity, your performance will suffer. Mental noise often triggers negative thoughts that weaken your belief in yourself. You start playing small. You hesitate. You avoid challenges. To break this cycle, You need to develop mental discipline. You need to challenge irrational thoughts with logic. You need to build routines that keep your mind grounded. This takes time, but the more you practice awareness, the easier it becomes to silence the noise and return to your center. People who grow fast are not the ones with perfect conditions. They're the ones who understand their strengths and don't get distracted by every opportunity that comes their way. They stay in their lane. They master their craft. They aren't chasing every new trend. They're focused on long-term growth. That kind of focus requires courage. It's easy to chase what's popular. It's harder to build what's real. But that's where meaning lives. When you double down on your strengths and ignore the noise, you start living a life that feels aligned and fulfilling. To keep yourself aligned, spend time reflecting daily. Ask yourself what tasks give you energy. What work makes you lose track of time? What challenges make you feel alive instead of drained? These are clues to your strengths. Pay attention to them. Build your days around them. Design your work and goals around what you do well. That doesn't mean avoiding growth areas. It means letting your strengths lead while you strengthen your weaknesses in the background. Part of removing mental noise is also removing toxic self-doubt talk. Many people speak to themselves in ways they would never speak to anyone else. They criticize, they doubt, they assume the worst. That kind of language creates internal tension that blocks growth. You cannot build a strong life while constantly tearing yourself down. Speak to yourself like someone you believe in. Catch your negative thoughts and reframe them. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," say, "This is hard, but I'm getting stronger." Your mind listens to everything you say. Make your words work for you, not against you. Another form of noise is constantly switching focus. You start one thing, then jump to another, then another, never really finishing anything. Pattern destroys progress. To master your strengths, you must stay focused long enough to develop depth. Stop being distracted by novelty. Stop chasing quick wins. Build endurance. The people who rise the highest are those who can sustain their focus through boredom, resistance, and temptation. That's a form of mental strengths most people never develop. But if you can train yourself to stay locked in on your strengths, over time you'll separate yourself from the crowd. Create a routine that supports mental clarity. Start your day with stillness, even if it's just minutes. Write your thoughts, define your intentions, review your goals, remind yourself of what matters. These small acts help you begin the day with control instead of chaos. Throughout the day, take short breaks to reset. Walk, breathe, or reflect. These moments help you keep your mind sharp and focused. Don't wait until you're overwhelmed to pause. Build in moments of clarity so that overwhelm never has the chance to grow. You don't have to figure everything out at once. You just have to stay committed to understanding yourself deeply. That self-knowledge is more valuable than any book or podcast. It's what helps you make better decisions, navigate challenges, and build a life that actually feels right. Keep asking hard questions. Keep listening to your inner voice. Keep choosing alignment over approval. That's how you become unshakable. You also need to create boundaries to protect your mental space. Learn to say no to what distracts you, even if it's harmless or entertaining. Not everything that feels good is good for your mind. You don't need to respond to every message. You don't need to be available. You don't need to engage with every opinion. Protect your attention like your life depends on it, because the quality of your life does. A strong mind is not one that knows everything. It's one that is clear on what matters and blocks out what doesn't. Your job is to sharpen that clarity every single day. Wake up with a sense of direction. Lean into your strengths. Let go of anything that causes unnecessary stress or confusion. If it doesn't serve your purpose, release it. If it doesn't, support your peace. Distance yourself from it. Your growth depends on your ability to stay focused and stay real. Real with your goals. Real with your effort. Real with the thoughts you allow to stay. If you're constantly doubting yourself or listening to people who don't know your vision, you'll never reach your potential. Train yourself to stay centered in your truth. Build your inner clarity. Protect your peace. Trust your strengths. Take action from that place daily. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be committed. Committed to clearing the noise. Committed to using your gifts. Committed to staying true to your direction. This kind of focus doesn't just lead to results. It builds character. It sharpens discipline. It makes you dependable. When your mind is clear and focused, your actions become sharper. Your time is better used and your energy becomes unstoppable. Start with one step. Reduce one distraction. Cut out one unnecessary input. Replace it with a habit that supports your growth. Do that daily. Don't try to fix everything at once. Create small shifts that build clarity over time. Those small shifts add up to massive change. You begin to feel stronger mentally. You begin to see results. You begin to trust yourself more. No one is coming to do this work for you. The responsibility is yours. You must decide what your mind gets exposed to. You must choose what to focus on and what to let go of. You must believe in your ability to change. And most importantly, you must act. Action is the only way to move from clarity to transformation. Your strengths are already within you. Your clarity is waiting beneath the noise. The moment you decide to live with focus, everything changes. You stop drifting. You start to building. You stop reacting. You start creating. Stay consistent. Stay focused. Stay grounded. Your best self lives on the other side of clarity. Go meet it. Chapter: Protect your energy by managing your daily inputs. Your energy is your lifeline. It powers your thoughts, fuels your actions, and shapes the quality of your life. Yet, most people don't protect it. They give it away freely to things that offer no return. They let distractions, negativity, noise, and mindless consumption drain them before the day even begins. What enters your life on a daily basis, what you watch, what you hear, who you talk to, and what you allow yourself to dwell on, either feeds your growth or feeds your destruction. If you don't manage your inputs with intention, your energy will slowly slip away without you even realizing it. And when you lose your energy, you lose your ability to focus, to perform, to be present, and to move forward. You don't need more motivation. You need less noise. You don't need more time. You need fewer drains. Protecting your energy starts with awareness. You must become ruthlessly conscious of what is entering your life and influencing your mood, your decisions, and your sense of direction. Energy is not just physical. It's mental, emotional, and spiritual. One negative conversation can take more from you than an entire day of hard work. 1 hour scrolling through chaos can leave your mind scattered and disconnected from your goals. One small habit repeated over time can pull you further away from the person you're trying to become. You must stop treating these things as harmless. You must begin seeing them for what they are, subtle thieves of your potential. Managing your daily inputs is not about cutting yourself off from the world. It's about taking full control over the quality of what you allow into your space. Most people guard their homes more carefully than their minds. They lock their doors at night, but leave their minds wide open to gossip, fear, and mindless consumption. That's backward. Your mind is the gatekeeper of your entire life. If you let garbage in, you will live in chaos. But if you fill it with clarity, truth, discipline, and wisdom, you create a foundation that nothing can shake. Start with your morning. What you allow into your mind in the first hour of the day sets the tone for everything that follows. If your first input is your phone flooded with messages, news, and notifications, you've already handed over your energy to external chaos. If your first thoughts are anxious or reactive, you've already placed yourself in a defensive position. But if you begin your day with stillness, focus, and intention, you build momentum that carries into everything you do. Protect your mornings. Fill them with inputs that empower you. Reading something thoughtful. Writing down your goals. Reflecting in silence. Listening to something meaningful. These are the kinds of inputs that add energy rather than subtract it. Throughout your day, you must filter the conversations you engage in. Not every conversation is worth having. Not every opinion deserves your time. If someone constantly complains, gossips, or brings unnecessary drama into your life, that's not just a personality trait, it's an energy leak. And leaks over time will leave you empty. It's not about judging others, it's about recognizing what helps you grow and what holds you back. Keep your circle full of people who push you forward, who speak with clarity, who live with purpose. If someone doesn't respect your energy, they shouldn't have access to it. Another critical input is the content you consume. Most people spend hours a day scrolling, watching, and listening without intention. They consume passively, not realizing that every piece of content leaves a fingerprint on their mind. What you watch regularly becomes what you think about. What you listen to becomes what you believe. What you read becomes what you absorb. If you're constantly surrounded by noise, whether it's entertainment, news, or social media, you are training your brain to live in a reactive, overstimulated state. That state destroys clarity. It makes it harder to focus, harder to stay disciplined, and harder to feel any sense of peace. To reclaim your focus, you need to simplify your consumption. Choose a few trusted sources that align with your values and goals. Replace scrolling with learning. Replace noise with depth. Spend time with content that stretches your mind rather than numbs it. You don't need to know everything. You just need to know what matters and ignore what doesn't. This one shift in your inputs can transform how you feel, think, and show up daily. You must also manage your inner dialogue, because your thoughts are one of the most consistent inputs in your life. How you speak to yourself shapes your energy. If you're constantly criticizing yourself, doubting your ability, or replaying past mistakes, you're creating an internal environment that weakens you. But if you speak with belief, encouragement, and clarity, you build an internal state that empowers you. Monitor your self-talk. Catch the thoughts that drain you and challenge them. Replace them with language that aligns with who you want to be. Speak to yourself as someone you believe in. Your energy will follow your words. A major hidden input is your environment. Your space influences your energy more than you realize. Clutter creates distraction. Noise breeds stress. Disorder leads to mental fatigue. Take a close look at where you spend your time, your workspace, your home, your car. If the space feels chaotic, it's likely affecting your mindset. You don't need luxury. You need order. Clean, organize, and simplify. Create a space that makes it easier to focus, easier to think, and easier to stay present. Your environment should support your energy, not fight against it. Another often overlooked input is your diet. What you eat directly affects how you think and feel. If your energy is constantly crashing, your mind is foggy, or your mood is unstable, your food may be part of the problem. You don't need to obsess over every meal, but you must start treating your food as fuel. Choose foods that support your clarity and stability. Drink more water. Avoid overloading your system with sugar, caffeine, and processed junk. When your body feels better, your mind functions better. When your mind functions better, your energy becomes more consistent. Sleep is also one of your most powerful inputs. It's not just about rest, it's about restoration. If you're not sleeping well, everything else suffers. Your discipline drops. Your patience disappears. Your thoughts become cloudy. You become reactive. Protect your sleep like you protect your goals. Create a consistent bedtime. Turn off screens before bed. Keep your sleep space quiet and dark. Don't sacrifice. Rest for productivity, because without rest, your productivity will collapse. A sharp mind needs deep sleep. One of the greatest acts of self-respect is protecting your energy from things that don't deserve it. That includes unnecessary arguments, endless comparisons, false urgency, and the constant need to explain yourself to people who don't understand your vision. You don't need to respond to everything. You don't need to be available all the time. You don't need to prove your worth to people who aren't even paying attention to their own lives. That's how you lose energy that could have gone into your growth. Be selective. Be focused. Be intentional. Protecting your energy also means scheduling time for recovery. You can't be in performance mode, possess. Even the strongest minds need time to reset. Build time into your week where you disconnect from output and reconnect with presence. Walk in nature. Read for enjoyment. Spend time with people who restore you. Sit in silence. Do things that don't demand results, but still add depth to your life. This is not weakness, it's maintenance. And the more consistently you recover, the more powerfully you can perform when it counts. Every decision you make is either protecting your energy or draining it. Saying yes to everything means you're saying no to your focus. Constantly consuming means you're rarely creating. Being reactive means you're living by default, not design. It doesn't have to be this way. You can choose to live on purpose. You can choose to manage your inputs with intention. You can choose to be in control of what enters your mind your space, and your soul. Start small. Audit your day. Notice what drains you. Notice what lifts you. Track your patterns. Identify the people, habits, and content that pull you away from your goals. Then begin to shift. Limit your exposure to what weakens you. Replace it with what strengthens you. Create routines that restore rather than exhaust. Make peace a priority, not an afterthought. Every day is an opportunity to build or to bleed. The quality of your energy determines the quality of your life. When you protect that energy, you gain a sense of power, presence, and purpose that nothing can shake. You begin each day with clarity. You move through your challenges with focus. You stay connected to what matters most. That is how you build a life worth living. No one is going to do this for you. You have to protect your energy like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. Without it, you have nothing. With it, you can build anything. Guard your mind. Choose your inputs wisely. Commit to your growth and watch how powerful your life becomes when you stop letting everything in. Chapter: Challenge your excuses and face the real truth. Excuses are the whispers of weakness, the shadows that hide the truth from our eyes. They are the barriers we create to shield ourselves from the discomfort of facing the hard realities of who we are, where we are, and where we want to go. The truth is, most of the limits we perceive in our lives aren't placed there by the world. They are the result of the excuses we make to explain our failures and inaction. Each excuse is a way to justify staying the same, to avoid stepping into the discomfort that true change requires. And the longer we listen to these excuses, the further we drift from the person we are meant to become. The habit of making excuses is one of the most dangerous things you can do to your own growth. It's not just about justifying a single mistake or delay. It's about giving up control over your life. When you let excuses guide your decisions, you give away the power to shape your own future. You stop taking responsibility. You stop being the creator of your own story. Instead, you become a victim of your circumstances, a passive observer of your own potential. It is easy to fall into the trap of excuses. Life is challenging, and it's much easier to explain away your failures with comforting words than to face the cold, hard truth about why you didn't succeed. It's easier to tell yourself that you'll start tomorrow, that you didn't have the right resources, or that the timing wasn't right. These excuses are all designed to shield you from confronting what really needs to change your mindset, your actions, and your discipline. To break free from the grip of excuses, you must first recognize them for what they are. Excuses always sound reasonable. They disguise themselves as explanations, justifications, and even protection. But underneath, they are nothing more than a lie. A lie you've told yourself so many times that it's become part of your identity. The moment you choose to see your excuses for what they truly are, the moment you call them out, you take back control. You remove the shield you've been hiding behind and begin to step into the uncomfortable but necessary space of accountability. It's important to understand that excuses don't just keep you stagnant. They actively hold you back. Every time you excuse yourself from taking responsibility, from doing the hard work, from pushing through discomfort, you reinforce a pattern of inaction. You build a foundation of self-doubt and resignation, and you set yourself up to repeat the same cycle over and over again. Excuses don't allow you to grow. They hold you in place like weights tied around your ankles, dragging you down and preventing you from reaching your potential. When you challenge your excuses, you are forced to confront the uncomfortable truths about your behavior. You begin to see the gaps between where you are and where you want to be. But this confrontation isn't something to fear. It's something to embrace. The truth is liberating. It's what gives you the power to change. Without facing the truth, you cannot take meaningful action. And without action, you remain stuck in the same place year after year. Let's look at some of the most common excuses we use and break them down. One of the biggest excuses we make is the not enough time excuse. How many times have you said, "I don't have enough time to work on my goals," or "I'll do it later when I have more time"? The reality is, everyone has the same hours in a day. Time is not the problem. The problem is how you choose to spend that time. When you say you don't have enough time, what you're really saying is that you haven't made your goals a priority. You've chosen to spend your time on other things that seem easier or more comfortable in the moment. Time management isn't about having more hours. It's about choosing how to spend the ones you have. Another excuse many of us make is, "I'm not ready." How many times have you told yourself that you'll take action once you've learned more, prepared more, or gained more experience? The truth is, you will never feel ready. The fear of being unprepared or making mistakes can paralyze you, but growth never happens in the comfort zone. Action breeds clarity. The best way to prepare is to start. You learn more by doing than by planning or reading about it. If you wait until you feel ready, you will wait forever. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to take that first step. Then there's the excuse of, "I don't have the resources." It's easy to blame a lack of money, tools, or support for why you can't move forward. But resources aren't what creates success. Resourcefulness does. If you want to achieve something, you will find a way. Look at the stories of people who have overcome impossible odds to build something from nothing. The most successful people in history didn't have everything handed to them. They made do with what they had and found creative solutions to their problems. If you want to get started, focus on what you have, not what you lack. There's also the excuse of, "I'm not good enough." How often do you hold yourself back because you think you're not capable or worthy of success? This is one of the most destructive excuses because it's rooted in self-doubt. You tell yourself that you don't have the skills, the experience, or the talent to succeed. So you don't even try. But the truth is that no one is born knowing everything. Every expert was once a beginner. Every successful person faced self-doubt at some point. The key is to take action despite your doubts. The more you practice, the more you improve. Your ability to succeed is not defined by your current skills. It's defined by your willingness to try, to learn, and to grow. It's also easy to make excuses based on fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of criticism. Fear is a natural part of the human experience, but it's also one of the most limiting forces in our lives. When you allow fear to dictate your actions, you allow it to control your life. The truth is, you will fail. You will face rejection. You will make mistakes. But those are the very experiences that will teach you and help you grow. Fear should not stop you. It should fuel you. Use fear as a signal that you're on the right path, that you're pushing the boundaries of your comfort zone. When you face your fears head on, you break the chains that hold you back. To break free from the cycle of excuses, you must replace them with action. Action is the antidote to excuse-making. Every time you feel an excuse creeping in, counter it with a decision to act. It doesn't matter how small the step is. What matters is that you take it. If you want to write a book, start by writing 1 page today. If you want to get fit, start by doing push-ups. If you want to save money, start by cutting out one unnecessary expense. The more action you take, the more momentum you build, and the less room there is for excuses. You must also develop the habit of accountability. When you are accountable to yourself, you cannot hide behind excuses. Set clear goals and track your progress. Share your goals with someone who will hold you to them. Surround yourself with people who will not let you make excuses, who will challenge you to stay on track, and who will push you to take responsibility for your actions. Accountability forces you to face the truth, to look at your results, and to make adjustments when necessary. Most importantly, challenge the story you tell yourself. The excuses you make are based on the narratives you've created about your life and your abilities. These stories are often outdated and limiting. Change your story, and you change your actions. The truth is that you are capable of more than you think. You have the power to choose your path, to shape your future, and to overcome any obstacle that stands in your way. But you can't do that if you continue to make excuses. It's time to stop letting fear, doubt, and comfort hold you back. It's time to take responsibility. It's time to challenge your excuses and face the real truth. The truth is, you can do it. You just have to decide to start. And when you do, everything will change. Chapter 9. Feed your mind with wisdom, not empty noise. In today's world, we are bombarded with an endless stream of information. From social media notifications to the constant barrage of news updates, to the noise of unsolicited opinions from others, it can be difficult to filter out what truly matters. The digital age has brought many conveniences, but it has also filled our lives with distractions, taking us away from the things that truly nourish our minds and spirits. It's easy to fall into the trap of consuming empty noise. Content that fills the space but does nothing to enrich us, elevate our thinking, or move us closer to our goals. This constant influx of superficial information prevents us from making space for wisdom. The kind of knowledge that not only informs but also transforms. Feeding your mind with wisdom, not empty noise, requires intentional effort, requires the discipline to turn away from the distractions, to stop mindlessly scrolling through social media, and to stop getting caught up in the endless chatter of unimportant conversations. It's about choosing to prioritize what truly adds value to your life, what deepens your understanding, what challenges you to grow, and what guides you toward your best self. The noise around us often feels loud, intrusive, and urgent. The pressure to stay updated on every trend, every piece of gossip, and every new viral video can be overwhelming. We feel the need to keep up, to be in the know, as though our worth is determined by how much of this noise we absorb. But the truth is, the more we feed our minds with this noise, the more disconnected we become from what truly matters. The more we listen to the noise, the less we listen to ourselves, to our intuition, and to the wisdom that is already within us. To feed your mind with wisdom, you first have to recognize the difference between wisdom and noise. Wisdom isn't loud or flashy. It's subtle, often requiring patience and reflection to fully understand. Wisdom comes from thoughtful books, meaningful conversations, experiences, and moments of introspection. Noise, on the other hand, is easily consumed and offers little in return. It's the superficial headlines, the endless debates, the empty entertainment that doesn't require us to think critically or deeply. It fills the moment, but leaves us feeling hollow. It distracts us from the things that can truly elevate our thinking and our lives. The first step in feeding your mind with wisdom is to become intentional about what you expose yourself to. What are you allowing into your mind each day? Are you filling your mental space with things that are truly valuable? Or are you letting the noise take over? This requires conscious effort. You must learn to filter out distractions, to stop scrolling through irrelevant posts, to stop engaging in conversations that drain your energy, and to stop consuming content that doesn't help you grow. Start by setting clear boundaries around your media consumption. Limit your time on social media. Instead of mindlessly scrolling, choose to read books that challenge your thinking, that expand your knowledge, and that provide insights into the deeper aspects of life. Select podcasts, documentaries, and articles that align with your values and goals. Curate your digital space. Follow accounts that inspire you, that offer valuable insights, that challenge your assumptions. Cut out the noise. The accounts, shows, and platforms that only serve to entertain you without adding any real value to your life. The next step is to become aware of the content that you consume. Just because something is popular doesn't mean it is valuable. Just because a piece of content is getting a lot of attention doesn't mean it's worth your time. The world's obsession with the trivial, the sensational, and the immediate gratification of clickbait has made it more difficult to find real wisdom in the noise. But wisdom doesn't thrive on sensationalism. It is found in the quiet moments, the deep books, the teachings that challenge us to think more critically, and the experiences that force us to grow. Look at the way you spend your free time. Are you filling it with content that nourishes you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? Or are you turning to distractions to avoid confronting the deeper questions of your life? One of the easiest ways to fall into the trap of noise is by using entertainment as an escape. It's natural to want to disconnect from the stresses of life, but mindlessly consuming entertainment often prevents us from developing the skills of self-reflection, introspection, and critical thinking. Choose to spend your free time wisely. Engage in activities that help you grow. Read books that challenge your perspective. Listen to podcasts that broaden your horizons. Seek out experiences that deepen your understanding of the world and of yourself. By doing this, you begin to shift the way you engage with the world around you. You stop seeking out distractions and begin to seek out wisdom. Wisdom is also about seeking out people who challenge you to think. The people you spend time with greatly influence your mindset and your growth. Are the people in your life feeding you wisdom? Or are they contributing to the noise? Are they encouraging you to pursue your goals, to strive for greatness, and to seek deeper meaning in life? Or are they caught up in the same distractions that you are trying to avoid? Surround yourself with individuals who inspire you to be better, who encourage you to think more critically, and who challenge you to rise above the noise. This doesn't mean you should cut out all forms of entertainment or casual social interactions. Life is about balance, but you must find ways to weave wisdom into your everyday life. Whether it's through reading, reflecting, or engaging in thoughtful discussions, prioritize activities that elevate your thinking and deepen your understanding. Another key element of feeding your mind with wisdom is mindfulness. Being mindful of your thoughts and emotions allows you to observe the noise without being consumed by it. Mindfulness helps you to stay present in the moment and to recognize when your attention is being pulled toward distractions. By practicing mindfulness, you become more aware of the moments when you are feeding yourself empty noise and can choose to redirect your attention to something more meaningful. Mindfulness also helps you to be more discerning about the information you consume. Instead of mindlessly absorbing everything that comes your way, you can make more intentional choices about what you allow into your mind. This is not to say that you should avoid entertainment or light-hearted content altogether. It simply means that you should be intentional about balancing the noise with nourishment. Make sure that for every bit of trivial content you consume, you're also consuming something that helps you grow. The world is full of noise, but the good news is that you don't have to be overwhelmed by it. You have the power to curate your mind, to choose what you consume, and to seek out the wisdom that will help you grow. By intentionally feeding your mind with wisdom, you will begin to see shifts in the way you think, the way you act, and the way you approach life. When you feed your mind with wisdom, you align yourself with the truths that transcend the noise. Wisdom brings clarity, peace, and direction. It helps you make better decisions, see the world more clearly, and navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. As you replace empty noise with meaningful knowledge, you will begin to notice that your thoughts become more focused, your actions more intentional, and your life more purposeful. Feeding your mind with wisdom is a lifelong journey. It's a practice that requires constant refinement and attention, but the rewards are immeasurable. As you challenge the noise and seek out the wisdom that will guide you toward becoming the best version of yourself, you will find that your life becomes richer, more fulfilling, and more aligned with your true purpose. Chapter Control: Your emotions before they control your life. Emotions are a fundamental part of our human experience. They can bring depth to our lives, fuel our passions, and guide us in our relationships and decision-making. Yet, while emotions are incredibly powerful, they also have the potential to control us if we do not learn how to manage them. The ability to control your emotions rather than allowing them to control you is one of the most crucial skills you can develop on the path to personal growth and success. Emotions, when left unchecked, can lead to impulsive decisions, misunderstandings, and actions that may contradict your true desires and values. They can cloud your judgment, derail your focus, and create chaos in your life. But when you take control of them, you empower yourself to act with clarity, purpose and strength. The first step in controlling your emotions is to acknowledge that emotions are natural and inevitable. They are not inherently good or bad, but rather responses to our thoughts, perceptions, and experiences. What becomes critical then is not whether we experience emotions, but how we respond to them. Emotions themselves are not the problem. It's our reaction to them that can create issues. Too often we react impulsively, letting our emotions drive our decisions instead of pausing to consider how we want to respond. This impulsive reaction is what often gets us into trouble. When emotions take over, it can feel as though we are no longer in control. Anger, frustration, fear, and even excitement can all cloud our ability to think clearly. In these moments, it's easy to act in a way that we later regret. The key to emotional control, therefore, is developing the self-awareness to recognize when your emotions are rising and learning to pause before acting. This is not about suppressing your emotions or pretending they don't exist. Instead, it's about creating space between the emotion and your response. This space allows you to choose how you want to react instead of being swept away by the intensity of the feeling. Developing emotional control begins with self-awareness. This is the foundation of emotional intelligence, understanding what you are feeling and why. The more you understand the source of your emotions, the easier it will be to manage them. For example, if you feel anger rising within you, take a moment to pause and ask yourself why you feel angry. Is it because of an external event, or is it rooted in an underlying thought or belief? Are you angry because you feel disrespected, or is there something deeper at play, such as insecurity or fear? Understanding the root of your emotions allows you to address the underlying issue rather than simply reacting to the surface-level emotion. Once you have a better understanding of the emotion itself, you can begin to gain control over how you respond. In moments of intense emotion, it's helpful to practice mindfulness techniques. Mindfulness involves being present in the moment and observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment. When you feel yourself becoming overwhelmed by an emotion, take a deep breath and focus on your breath. Allow yourself to detach from the emotion just for a moment and observe it from a distance. This creates space between the emotion and your response, allowing you to regain control. As you practice mindfulness, you will begin to notice that you can create a gap between feeling and reaction. This gap is where your power lies. Another critical aspect of emotional control is learning to manage your thoughts. Our emotions are often triggered by the way we interpret events. For instance, if someone criticizes you, your immediate emotional response may be anger or defensiveness. But if you take a step back and reframe the situation, you may realize that the criticism is an opportunity for growth, rather than an attack on your character. Reframing your thoughts can change the emotional energy you feel and give you a clearer perspective on how to act. By changing the way you think about a situation, you change the emotional experience associated with it. A powerful tool for controlling your emotions is the practice of journaling. Writing down your thoughts and feelings provides an outlet for your emotions and helps you process them in a healthy way. When you write, you are forced to slow down and reflect on your internal state, which can give you clarity and insight. You may find that simply writing about your emotions helps you to release them and regain a sense of calm. Journaling also allows you to track your emotional patterns over time, helping you identify triggers and learn how to manage your emotional responses more effectively. Another way to gain emotional control is through physical exercise. When you're feeling overwhelmed by emotions, physical movement can serve as a powerful tool for releasing pent-up energy. Exercise increases the production of endorphins, which are natural mood elevators, and helps to reduce stress. Engaging in regular physical activity can also improve your overall emotional resilience, making it easier to handle difficult situations without becoming emotionally overwhelmed. Whether it's running, yoga, or simply going for a walk, exercise helps to release the tension that often accompanies intense emotions and brings you back into balance. In addition to physical activity, practicing gratitude can be an incredibly effective way to control your emotions. When you're caught up in negative emotions, such as frustration or sadness, it's easy to focus on what's going wrong in your life. However, shifting your focus to gratitude can help you shift your emotional state. Gratitude encourages you to look at the positive aspects of your life, and it fosters a mindset of abundance rather than lack. When you intentionally practice gratitude, you train your mind to look for the good, even in difficult situations. And this can help you approach life's challenges with a more positive and constructive mindset. It's also essential to recognize that you are not your emotions. Emotions are temporary. They come and go. What you feel in one moment does not define you, and it does not dictate your future actions. Understanding this allows you to detach from your emotions and prevent them from controlling you. Just because you feel angry, sad, or anxious doesn't mean you have to act on those feelings immediately. You have the ability to choose your response, to step back, and to act from a place of calm and clarity, not impulsive emotion. In some cases, emotions like fear or anxiety can create a sense of paralysis or avoidance, making it difficult to take action. These emotions are particularly dangerous because they can stop you from moving forward, from making decisions, and from pursuing your goals. However, recognizing fear as a natural emotion and learning to face it head-on is an essential part of emotional control. When you feel fear, rather than running from it, lean into it. Ask yourself, what am I truly afraid of? And how can I use this fear as fuel to propel me forward? Fear, when managed correctly, can be a powerful motivator. It can help you recognize areas for growth, sharpen your focus, and push you to take calculated risks that bring you closer to your goals. Ultimately, the goal of emotional control is not to eliminate emotions, but to understand them, manage them, and use them to your advantage. Emotions are powerful, but when you learn to control them, they become allies instead of adversaries. By practicing self-awareness, mindfulness, reframing your thoughts, journaling, exercising, and practicing gratitude, you can develop emotional resilience. This will allow you to stay calm and centered in the face of life's challenges and to make decisions that align with your true values and long-term goals. When you gain control over your emotions, you regain control over your life. You stop being at the mercy of your feelings and start acting with purpose and clarity. Emotions no longer control you, you control them. This shift not only improves your mental and emotional well-being, but also enhances your relationships, your work, and your overall sense of fulfillment. Emotional control is the key to mastering yourself and creating the life you want. Chapter: Practice self-respect by honoring your daily word. Self-respect is the foundation of all personal growth. It's the silent but powerful force that shapes our behavior, our decisions, and how we navigate life. One of the most profound ways to practice self-respect is by honoring your word. In a world filled with distractions and external pressures, it's easy to make promises to ourselves and others, but much harder to keep them. Yet, our word is all we truly have. If we cannot trust ourselves to follow through on the commitments we make, we lose faith in our own integrity, and with that, our self-respect begins to erode. When you make a commitment, whether it's a small task or a significant goal, it's a reflection of your personal integrity. To honor your word is to show yourself and the world that you are someone who can be trusted, someone who stands by their commitments. It might seem simple, but the act of keeping promises to yourself is one of the most powerful ways to cultivate self-respect. It requires discipline, focus, and a deep sense of responsibility. When you fail to follow through on what you say you will do, not only do you let down others, but you betray your own trust. In the long run, this erodes your self-worth and hinders your personal growth. The relationship we have with ourselves is the most important one we will ever have. If we do not keep our word to ourselves, it sends a message that we do not value ourselves enough to honor the promises we make. Every time you break a promise, you are teaching yourself that it's okay to ignore your own needs and desires. You teach yourself that your goals, aspirations, and commitments are not worthy of your full attention or dedication. This gradually chips away at your self-esteem, leaving you feeling less confident and less motivated. On the flip side, when you make an effort to honor your word, you create a cycle of self-respect that strengthens over time. Every time you fulfill a commitment, whether it's waking up early to exercise, finishing a task on time, or sticking to a healthy routine, you build trust with yourself. This trust is the cornerstone of your confidence and your belief in your ability to achieve your goals. The more you honor your word, the more you value your own promises, and the stronger your sense of self-respect becomes. This is a critical aspect of personal growth, because it reinforces the belief that you are someone who can be counted on to follow through. However, it's not just about honoring promises to yourself. The commitments we make to others are equally important. In fact, the way you keep your promises to others can often serve as a reflection of how well you respect yourself. If you are constantly letting others down by failing to follow through on your commitments, it may be a sign that you are not respecting your own needs and boundaries. By honoring your word to others, you also demonstrate that you value your relationships and that you understand the importance of trust in building strong, meaningful connections. When you honor your word, you also demonstrate accountability. Accountability is the glue that holds your intentions and actions together. Without accountability, even the best intentions can be wasted. When you commit to a goal and follow through, you are taking responsibility for your life and your actions. You are not waiting for external circumstances to change, nor are you relying on someone else to hold you accountable. You are taking ownership of your success and recognizing that you are the one in control of the decisions you make. But honoring your word doesn't mean making commitments you cannot realistically keep. Part of self-respect involves being honest with yourself about what you are capable of and what you can reasonably achieve. This means setting goals and making promises that are within your capacity to fulfill. If you set yourself up for failure by overcommitting or by making promises you cannot keep, you only undermine your own self-respect. It's far more empowering to make smaller, achievable promises to yourself and to others, and to honor those fully, than to set lofty, unrealistic goals that are bound to remain unfulfilled. To honor your word requires a high level of discipline. It's easy to make promises when you are feeling motivated or inspired. But what about when the initial excitement fades, or when distractions and challenges arise? True self-respect comes when you honor your word, even when you don't feel like it. This is where the power of consistency lies. When you commit to a routine, a habit, or a goal, you are committing to a process of showing up regardless of your emotional state or external circumstances. It's this consistency that builds the foundation of your success. And it's the consistency that over time strengthens your self-respect. Part of the discipline of honoring your word is learning how to manage your time and energy effectively. Time is a resource that we often take for granted, but it is one of the most important assets we have. When you make a commitment, you are committing to spend your time and energy in a certain way. If you fail to manage your time properly, you may find yourself overwhelmed and unable to keep your word. On the other hand, when you learn to prioritize, plan, and manage your time efficiently, you are more likely to honor the commitments you make. This not only builds self-respect, but also increases your productivity and overall sense of accomplishment. One of the most powerful aspects of honoring your word is that it helps you build momentum. When you follow through on one commitment, it becomes easier to honor the next one. Each success builds upon the previous one, creating a sense of accomplishment and motivation. This is why it's so important to start small. Commit to something you can easily achieve, and once you succeed, build on that success. Over time, you will find that honoring your word becomes second nature. The discipline you cultivate will translate into every area of your life, and your self-respect will continue to grow. It's important to remember that no one is perfect. We all slip up from time to time, and we all make mistakes. The key is not to beat yourself up when you fail to honor your word, but to learn from the experience. When you miss a commitment, take responsibility for it. Don't make excuses or try to justify your actions. Acknowledge what went wrong, learn from it, and commit to doing better next time. This process of self-reflection is crucial in maintaining your self-respect. It shows that you are willing to take accountability for your actions and are committed to improving. Another important aspect of honoring your word is learning to say no. As you become more aware of your commitments and your capacity to follow through, you may find that you need to say no to certain things in order to protect your ability to honor your promises. Saying no is an act of self-respect because it means you are prioritizing your time and energy on the things that matter most to you. It also means you are protecting yourself from overcommitting and spreading yourself too thin. Saying no allows you to maintain your focus on your goals, and it ensures that you can fully dedicate yourself to the commitments you've made. The practice of honoring your word goes hand in hand with the practice of self-love. When you keep your promises to yourself, you are demonstrating love and respect for your own well-being. You are showing that you value yourself enough to invest in your growth and success. This is a powerful form of self-care because it strengthens your belief in your own worth. The more you honor your word, the more you reinforce the belief that you are capable, responsible, and deserving of success. In the end, practicing self-respect by honoring your word is one of the most transformative habits you can cultivate. It builds trust, accountability, discipline, and self-love. It strengthens your integrity and your confidence. And perhaps, most importantly, it allows you to live a life that is true to your values and aspirations. When you honor your word, you honor yourself. This simple practice can be the key to unlocking your full potential and living a life of purpose, clarity, and self-respect. Every promise you keep adds to your strength and resilience. And with each one, you create a deeper connection with the most important person in your life. Chapter: Build mental toughness by doing hard things daily. Mental toughness is not something that comes naturally or easily to most people. It is something you develop over time through consistent, deliberate practice. It is the ability to withstand and thrive under pressure, to persevere in the face of adversity, and to continue moving forward despite the challenges you encounter. Mental toughness is a trait that is developed, not inherited. It is cultivated by regularly engaging in difficult, uncomfortable situations that push you beyond your comfort zone. Building mental toughness doesn't happen overnight, but the more you challenge yourself and push yourself to do hard things every day, the stronger you become. To truly build mental toughness, you need to take intentional steps to expose yourself to discomfort and difficulty. It is through facing challenges that you build resilience. Resilience is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties, and it is a cornerstone of mental toughness. When you take on hard tasks, you stretch your mental limits and develop a deeper understanding of your own strength. Over time, this helps you to become more adaptable and flexible, making it easier to handle challenges and setbacks in the future. One of the most important aspects of building mental toughness is learning how to embrace discomfort. Discomfort is a natural part of life, especially when you are pursuing growth and improvement. The human instinct is often to avoid discomfort, to seek comfort and ease. But this instinct can be a barrier to growth. Growth only happens when you push yourself beyond what feels easy or familiar. By choosing to do hard things every day, you reframe discomfort as something positive, something that serves your growth. When you become comfortable with discomfort, you break free from the limitations that comfort imposes on you. Doing hard things every day can take many different forms, depending on your personal goals and values. For some, it may involve physical challenges like pushing yourself to lift heavier weights or run longer distances. For others, it might involve mental or emotional challenges, such as facing difficult conversations, tackling challenging projects at work, or stepping into situations that push you to overcome your fears. It could also involve committing to a long-term goal that requires consistent effort and perseverance, even when progress seems slow or difficult to measure. The key is to do something each day that challenges you, that forces you to confront your limits and push through them. Over time, these daily challenges will compound, and your mental toughness will grow stronger. You will begin to notice that you handle stress and adversity with greater ease, and that setbacks no longer feel as overwhelming as they once did. You will develop an inner strength that enables you to keep going even when the going gets tough. Another important aspect of building mental toughness is developing the ability to focus on the long-term picture, even when faced with short-term discomfort. Mental toughness requires the ability to keep your eyes on the prize, to stay focused on your ultimate goals despite the immediate challenges and obstacles in your way. It is easy to get discouraged when things are difficult, but true mental toughness lies in your ability to keep moving forward no matter how difficult the journey may seem. When you push through discomfort and face challenges head-on, you are learning how to manage your mind and emotions. One of the key components of mental toughness is emotional regulation. This involves the ability to manage your emotional reactions in the face of stress, frustration, or pain. Instead of letting negative emotions dictate your actions, mental toughness allows you to respond to challenges with calm and clarity. This doesn't mean that you suppress or ignore your emotions. It simply means that you learn how to manage them in a way that empowers you rather than derailing you. A key aspect of emotional regulation is learning to stay present in the moment. When you're facing a difficult situation, it's easy for your mind to race with negative thoughts, fear, or self-doubt. These thoughts can make it even harder to stay focused and push through the challenge. Mental toughness involves recognizing these negative thoughts without letting them control you. By staying grounded in the present moment and focusing on what you can control, you develop the mental strength to keep going even when your emotions are telling you to quit. Another way to build mental toughness is through consistency. Mental toughness isn't about occasional bursts of effort. It's about showing up every day and committing to the process. It's about doing hard things consistently even when you don't feel like it, even when progress seems slow, and even when it feels like the path ahead is filled with obstacles. Consistency is what builds the foundation of mental toughness. It's what turns difficult challenges into habits and routines. The more you commit to doing hard things every day, the more natural it becomes and the more resilient you become in the face of adversity. This consistency also requires the ability to push through failure. No matter how mentally tough you become, there will always be setbacks and failures along the way. The key is not to let failure defeat you. Instead, use failure as an opportunity to learn and grow. When you fail, you don't lose. You simply learn what didn't work and adjust your approach moving forward. Every failure is a stepping stone towards success. And every failure builds your mental toughness by teaching you to persevere and adapt. It's also important to recognize that mental toughness is not about being perfect. It's not about being immune to fear, doubt, or pain. It's about how you respond to those feelings. It's about your ability to keep moving forward even when you're afraid, when things get difficult, or when you feel like giving up. Building mental toughness is about developing the resilience to face whatever life throws at you. And it's something you can only do by challenging yourself every single day. One way to measure your progress in building mental toughness is by the way you respond to setbacks. When you face difficulties, how do you react? Do you give up? Or do you find a way to keep going? The stronger your mental toughness, the less likely you are to quit when things get hard. Instead, you learn to adapt, to pivot, and to keep moving forward even when the path is unclear. The process of building mental toughness is gradual, but it is also deeply rewarding. It's a continuous cycle of growth, where each challenge you face strengthens you and prepares you for the next one. The more you challenge yourself, the more confident and resilient you become. And as you build your mental toughness, you will find that your ability to handle difficult situations and bounce back from setbacks becomes second nature. You will develop a sense of inner strength and resolve that will serve you in all aspects of your life, from personal relationships to professional achievements. Ultimately, building mental toughness by doing hard things daily is a lifelong process. It's about continually pushing yourself to be better, to face your fears, and to tackle the challenges that come your way. With each step forward, you grow stronger, more resilient, and more capable of handling whatever life throws at you. And in the end, the hard things you do every day will become the foundation of your success, helping you build the mental toughness you need to achieve your greatest goals. Chapter Push: Past Comfort and Grow Through Small Discomforts. Growth never happens in the safety of comfort. It comes when you step out and push beyond the boundaries of what feels easy. Comfort has a way of lulling us into complacency, making us believe that stagnation is acceptable, that we can settle for less because things aren't too bad. But real transformation, the kind that takes you to the next level in your life, your career, and your personal development, doesn't come from staying within the confines of comfort. It comes from pushing past it. This is where discomfort plays a crucial role in your journey. Discomfort is the gateway to growth. It's the friction that forces your muscles, both physical and mental, to strengthen. But here's the thing: you don't need to go for dramatic leaps right away. Small, manageable discomforts faced consistently are more than enough to build momentum and create lasting change. Each small step you take out of your comfort zone adds up. What you don't realize in the moment is that each of those small acts of discomfort creates a foundation of resilience that will sustain you during the bigger challenges life inevitably throws your way. The idea of growth through discomfort isn't new. It's been echoed through centuries of philosophy, self-development, and even science. Consider this: muscles don't grow without the stress of resistance. Similarly, you don't develop mental toughness or resilience without enduring life's small challenges. By pushing yourself past what's comfortable in small ways, you cultivate strength. But you can't grow if you avoid discomfort altogether. The key is to face small discomforts daily, choosing to endure them and learning to find peace within them. Think of discomfort as a tool for progress. If you want to change something, whether it's your body, your mindset, or your life, you need to welcome discomfort as a signal that something is changing. But discomfort comes in many forms. It's not just about physical challenges. It can also show up emotionally, mentally, and socially. Emotional discomfort might be the fear of speaking up in a meeting, the vulnerability required to have a tough conversation, or the anxiety that comes with trying something new. Mental discomfort can appear when you challenge yourself to think in new ways, or when you stretch your capacity to solve complex problems. Social discomfort often happens when you take risks in relationships, such as being more authentic, setting boundaries, or confronting a difficult situation. Each of these types of discomfort, when faced head-on, strengthens your ability to endure future challenges. The mind, just like the body, gets stronger with consistent exercise. And just as you wouldn't expect to lift a heavy weight without first conditioning your muscles, you can't expect to overcome life's bigger challenges without first facing smaller discomforts. The more you push yourself to do hard things, whether they're physical, emotional, or mental, the more you become accustomed to discomfort. And when discomfort becomes familiar, you begin to approach it differently. You no longer see it as something to avoid, but as a stepping stone to something better, something greater. In a world that increasingly values comfort and instant gratification, it's easy to forget that growth requires struggle. We live in an age where it's easy to numb discomfort through distractions, entertainment, food, and social media. But in doing so, we rob ourselves of the opportunity to grow. By numbing our discomforts, we deny ourselves the possibility of breakthrough. Each time we give into comfort at the expense of growth, we reinforce the belief that we're not capable of handling what's uncomfortable. The more we choose comfort, the more we miss out on opportunities to stretch and expand our limits. The true test of your growth comes when you face discomfort head-on without hesitation. Each time you resist the urge to back down and instead lean into discomfort, you train yourself to handle bigger challenges in the future. Discomfort becomes less intimidating. You begin to realize that it's not the discomfort itself that holds you back, but your perception of it. When you stop seeing discomfort as something negative and start seeing it as a necessary part of the journey, you unlock the potential to grow exponentially. One of the most powerful ways to push past comfort is to establish small, consistent actions that require you to step outside your comfort zone daily. These actions don't have to be monumental or life-altering. They just need to be challenging, enough to make you feel uncomfortable. The key is consistency. Growth doesn't come from occasional efforts. It comes from small, consistent steps taken every day. Over time, the discomfort you feel today becomes a source of strength tomorrow. For example, you might decide to take a cold shower in the morning. It's uncomfortable, but it's a small way to push yourself past what feels easy. Or you might choose to make that difficult phone call you've been putting off. The discomfort you feel in the moment will pass, but the confidence you gain from pushing through it will stay with you long after the discomfort is gone. These small, discomfort-inducing actions build up over time. They compound in ways you can't always see in the moment. You might not notice the effects on day one or week one, but after months of doing uncomfortable things regularly, you will look back and be amazed at how much you've grown. Your capacity to endure hardship, your resilience, and your mental toughness all strengthen. And with each success, no matter how small, you reinforce the belief that you are capable of handling more than you thought possible. It's important to remember that growth is a process. It's easy to get discouraged when progress feels slow or when discomfort seems overwhelming. But if you continue to show up and do the hard work, the results will eventually follow. The discomfort you feel is not a sign of failure. It's a sign that something inside you is changing. The more you persist, the more you reinforce the neural pathways that help you handle discomfort with grace and strength. Over time, what once seemed difficult will become second nature. In fact, discomfort becomes addictive. The more you push through small challenges, the more you crave them. Your body and mind begin to associate discomfort with growth and progress. You stop avoiding it and start seeking it out. This is when true transformation occurs. When you actively seek discomfort, you no longer wait for it to show up in your life. You create it, and in doing so, you ensure that you are always growing, always expanding, always becoming a stronger version of yourself. There will be days when it feels too hard, when the discomfort is overwhelming, when you question whether it's all worth it. But this is where the power of consistency comes in. Even when you don't feel like pushing through, show up anyway. Do the hard thing. Push past the comfort. It's in those moments when you least feel like doing it that the greatest growth occurs. It's important to reflect on the small steps you take each day to challenge yourself. Look back after a few months or even a year and recognize how far you've come. Realize that you didn't get there by avoiding discomfort, but by embracing it and using it as a tool to fuel your growth. Your future self will thank you for the discomfort you chose to endure today. The path to greatness is not paved with comfort, but with the grit and determination to push past it. Each time you do something that makes you uncomfortable, you step closer to the person you're meant to become. Every small challenge faced is a victory. The key is to stay consistent, to keep showing up, and to push past comfort, no matter how hard it may seem. The discomfort you face today is shaping the strength you'll have tomorrow. So challenge yourself every day. Embrace the discomfort and watch yourself grow in ways you never thought possible. Chapter: Let go of habits that drain your inner power. To build lasting strength and maintain a clear, focused mind, it is essential to let go of habits that drain your energy and weaken your resolve. Every day you make decisions, small ones, big ones, that shape your path. The way you spend your time, the things you put into your body, and the actions you repeat all play a role in determining whether you're building your inner power or letting it slip away. Often, the habits that drain our energy are so ingrained in our daily routines that we don't even notice them until they've accumulated, subtly sapping our vitality and clarity. The truth is, if you want to move forward, you must be willing to identify and eliminate these energy-draining habits from your life. This is not just about stopping bad habits. It's about clearing the path to your highest potential. You need to start by taking a hard look at where your energy is going. Most people go through their days without fully realizing how much time, mental focus, and emotional energy they waste on habits that do nothing to advance their goals or nourish their spirit. These habits don't always have to be destructive. They can simply be neutral or passive activities that take up space in your life. But when you pay attention, you realize that they consume more of your energy than they give back. This subtle drain can take the form of mindless scrolling on your phone, binge-watching shows that leave you feeling empty, or overcommitting to social events that deplete your emotional reserves. These are the habits that slowly dilute your inner strength, leaving you less capable of rising to challenges, pursuing your goals, or fully experiencing life. The first step in letting go of habits that drain you is awareness. Without awareness, you continue living on autopilot, unaware of the toll your habits are taking on you. You need to ask yourself, What are the habits I engage in regularly? What do I do with my time that doesn't serve my well-being or my growth? It's easy to look at your life from a surface level and assume everything is fine. But if you're honest with yourself, you know that certain habits hold you back. If you want to grow, it's time to get real about the things you do that drain your energy. This process of awareness requires self-reflection. Take a step back from the busyness of your day-to-day life and evaluate your actions. How do you spend your time in the morning? What about at night? Are you rushing from one thing to the next, or are you moving with purpose and intention? Do you habitually fill your schedule with distractions, or do you make space for activities that align with your values and goals? Start to recognize the patterns in your behavior. Once you identify what's draining you, you'll be in a position to make conscious decisions about what to release. Once you've pinpointed the habits that drain you, you need to take action to release them. This doesn't mean you'll be able to instantly eliminate every draining habit from your life. Breaking habits takes time and effort. The key here is not to try to be perfect or to quit everything cold turkey. Rather, it's about making a decision to take small steps toward replacing these habits with healthier, more productive ones. For instance, if you find yourself spending hours on your phone, mindlessly scrolling through social media, replace that time with something more nourishing. You might choose to read a book, take a walk, or spend quality time with a friend or family member. If you're stuck in a cycle of binge-watching shows late into the night, commit to turning off the TV and going to bed earlier so you wake up feeling more energized and focused the next day. The real power comes when you replace a draining habit with something that fuels you. It's not enough to simply remove negative behaviors. You need to fill the void with something positive that contributes to your growth. This is where self-discipline becomes essential. Replacing draining habits requires effort and a willingness to prioritize your long-term well-being over short-term comfort. This shift won't happen overnight, but as you consistently make better choices, you'll notice a profound change in how you feel. You'll feel more energized, more focused, and more aligned with your goals. Another critical aspect of letting go of habits that drain your inner power is learning how to manage your environment. The people you spend time with, the media you consume, and the spaces you inhabit all have a powerful influence on your energy. If you're surrounded by negativity, toxicity, or people who don't support your growth, it's incredibly difficult to maintain your focus and energy. Part of letting go of draining habits is also about letting go of negative influences that drain you. Whether they come from people, environments, or even the content you expose yourself to on a daily basis. If you constantly find yourself surrounded by people who complain, gossip, or discourage you from pursuing your goals, it's time to reevaluate those relationships. This doesn't mean cutting people off entirely, but it might mean setting boundaries or limiting the time you spend with individuals who bring you down. You need to protect your energy, and sometimes that means stepping back from situations or people that are consistently draining your power. Similarly, your environment plays a crucial role in how much energy you have available to you. If you work in a cluttered, disorganized space, your mind can't fully focus or be at peace. Your surroundings should support your well-being, not add to your stress. Start by creating a space that inspires clarity and creativity. clear the physical clutter, remove distractions, and make room for activities that help you focus on your personal growth. What you consume, whether it's through media, food, or other sensory inputs, also impacts your energy levels. The news, social media, and other forms of media can often leave you feeling anxious, drained, or distracted. The constant bombardment of information doesn't contribute to your peace of mind. In fact, it pulls you away from your center and fills your mind with noise. To regain your inner power, consider limiting your exposure to negative media or mindless distractions. Choose to consume content that uplifts and educates, not content that exhausts you emotionally or mentally. Additionally, the habits you have surrounding nutrition and exercise can either drain or replenish your energy. The food you eat has a direct impact on how you feel, both physically and mentally. Processed foods, excessive sugar, and poor eating habits can leave you sluggish and uninspired, while nourishing foods can provide you with the energy and mental clarity you need to perform at your best. Similarly, neglecting physical exercise can result in a lack of vitality. Regular exercise not only strengthens your body, but also releases endorphins that improve your mood and mental clarity. Taking care of your body is crucial to maintaining your inner power. As you begin to let go of the habits that drain you, it's essential to adopt habits that energize and empower you. Focus on developing habits that nourish your mind, body, and spirit. Establish a morning routine that sets a positive tone for your day, whether that's through meditation, journaling, exercise, or reading something inspiring. Throughout the day, prioritize actions that align with your goals and contribute to your growth. Set time aside for creative work, personal development, and meaningful relationships. At night, focus on winding down in a way that restores you, whether that's through relaxation, reading, or simply taking time to reflect on your day. The act of letting go of draining habits is not an overnight process. It requires patience, persistence, and self-awareness. But as you begin to eliminate these habits, you'll notice the shift in your energy. You'll feel more vibrant, more focused, and more aligned with your true potential. Your inner power is not something that is given to you. It is something you cultivate through your daily choices and actions. By letting go of habits that drain you and replacing them with habits that empower you, you step into the fullness of who you are meant to be. Chapter: Sharpen your focus by removing what is useless. Sharpening your focus is one of the most powerful steps you can take toward creating a life of purpose and success. Focus is a limited resource. It's easy to assume that we have infinite capacity to direct our attention to everything. But the truth is, our minds can only handle so much at once. Every single thing that takes up space in your mind and life, every distraction, every irrelevant task, every unproductive thought has the potential to rob you of your ability to focus on what truly matters. If you want to take control of your life, to move forward, and to accomplish your goals, the most crucial action you can take is to remove what is useless. The process of sharpening your focus starts with recognizing how much of your time and mental energy is being consumed by things that have no value. These are the things that when you look back at them, you realize they didn't serve any purpose. They didn't help you grow. They didn't help you progress. and they certainly didn't help you create the life you truly desire. These things may not necessarily be bad in themselves, but they are distractions, often camouflaged as necessities or harmless habits. To sharpen your focus, you must begin by ruthlessly eliminating these distractions, regardless of how insignificant they may seem. One of the most powerful forms of distraction is the constant pull of your external environment, the people you surround yourself with, the places you go, and the activities you engage in all play a role in where your focus is directed. If your environment is cluttered, noisy, or filled with distractions, your focus will be scattered. It's like trying to concentrate on reading a book while someone is playing loud music in the background. You can't fully absorb what's on the page because your attention is being drawn elsewhere. The same principle applies to your life. If you're constantly surrounded by distractions, whether that's clutter in your physical space, an overload of notifications, or a constant stream of superficial conversations, your ability to focus on what's important will be compromised. To sharpen your focus, you need to begin with your environment. You must create a space that nurtures clarity and concentration. This could mean decluttering your workspace, turning off notifications on your phone, or setting boundaries with people who drain your energy or waste your time. Another significant drain on your focus is the excessive consumption of information. We live in a world where we're constantly bombarded with new data, new opinions, and new distractions. Information overload has become the norm, and it's easy to fall into the trap of trying to consume everything from the latest news to social media updates to endless podcasts or YouTube videos. However, much of this information is useless. It does nothing to advance your goals, improve your mindset, or increase your productivity. In fact, it often does the opposite. It clutters your mind, overloads your brain with unnecessary details, and pulls your attention away from your priorities. If you want to sharpen your focus, you must become highly selective about what you allow into your mind. This doesn't mean cutting yourself off from the world or ignoring important developments, but it does mean being intentional about the information you consume. Be mindful of the content you expose yourself to, and make sure it aligns with your values, goals, and growth. If you find yourself regularly consuming media that leaves you feeling anxious, distracted, or uninspired, it's time to reconsider how much time you spend on those activities. Sharpening your focus requires that you consciously choose what to feed your mind and be diligent about protecting it from the noise and distractions that can easily drown out your ability to concentrate. In addition to managing your environment and the information you consume, you must also take a hard look at how you spend your time. Most people fall into the trap of doing busy work that feels productive but doesn't actually move them closer to their goals. It's easy to get caught up in activities that seem important but aren't truly essential. This is where time management comes into play. You must ask yourself, what is truly important? What am I working toward? If your daily tasks and routines aren't aligning with your bigger vision, you are wasting time on things that aren't serving you. It's time to evaluate your daily activities and determine which ones are essential to achieving your goals and which ones are simply filling up space. The process of eliminating useless tasks involves setting clear priorities. You can't focus on everything at once, and you shouldn't try. Instead, you need to identify the tasks and actions that will have the greatest impact on your life and your success. This means being clear on your goals and staying focused on them. No matter how tempting it may be to get sidetracked by trivial tasks, in the same way that you wouldn't waste time reading a book that doesn't interest you, you shouldn't waste time on activities that don't move you forward. Once you've identified your key priorities, eliminate everything that doesn't contribute. To them, say no to distractions, unnecessary meetings, and irrelevant obligations. Free up your time and energy for the things that truly matter. In the pursuit of sharpening your focus, you must also be willing to challenge the mindsets and habits that hold you back. Sometimes the biggest distraction isn't external. It's internal. Self-doubt, fear of failure. Procrastination and negative thinking are all forms of mental clutter that can derail your focus. If you allow these thoughts to persist unchecked, they'll eat away at your energy and your confidence. To sharpen your focus, you must confront these mental barriers head-on. Replace self-limiting beliefs with empowering thoughts. Replace procrastination with action, and replace fear with the courage to push forward. To do this, you need to create a mental framework that supports your success. This includes building habits of discipline and consistency, cultivating positive self-talk, and practicing mindfulness. The more you train your mind to focus on the present moment and the task at hand, the sharper your focus will become. Practice focusing on one thing at a time, and you'll gradually build the mental muscle needed to stay concentrated in the face of distractions. Over time, you'll develop the ability to quickly recognize when your focus is slipping and course. Correct before you fall too far off track. Part of removing what is useless involves simplifying your life. When you have too many choices, too many options, and too many distractions, your focus becomes diluted. This is true for your material possessions, your commitments, and even your relationships. Ask yourself, what can I simplify in my life to make space for what truly matters? What can I let go of that isn't contributing to my happiness, my well-being, or my goals? By removing the unnecessary, you create room for the important things, the things that will move you closer to your vision for your life. It's also essential to recognize that sharpening your focus is not about perfection. You'll never be able to eliminate every distraction or avoid every temptation to lose focus. Life is messy, and distractions will always exist. The key is not to remove every potential distraction from your life, but to strengthen your ability to choose where you direct your attention. It's about cultivating the habit of focusing on what's essential, even in the midst of chaos. With practice, you'll develop the mental resilience to remain focused and aligned with your purpose, no matter what's going on around you. In the end, sharpening your focus isn't just about removing distractions. It's about creating the space and the mental clarity to make meaningful progress toward your goals. By eliminating what is useless, you eliminate the noise, the clutter, and the obstacles that stand in the way of your success. You allow yourself to move forward with purpose and intention, and you create the conditions necessary for achieving your highest potential. Remember, focus is a skill that takes time and effort to develop, but the rewards are worth it. When you learn to focus on what truly matters, you unlock the door to limitless growth and achievement. Chapter: Track your growth with honest daily reflections. Tracking your growth is one of the most powerful tools you can use to maintain momentum and ensure that your efforts are not only moving you forward, but leading you toward meaningful, lasting change. Growth is often subtle, creeping in unnoticed day by day. And if you don't take the time to reflect on your progress, it can be easy to miss how far you've come. This is why honest daily reflection is crucial. It's through honest self-assessment that you can identify areas where you've excelled, acknowledge where you've faltered, and gain a deeper understanding of what works for you and what doesn't. Tracking growth doesn't mean measuring yourself against an external standard. It's not about comparing yourself to others or setting goals based solely on someone else's definition of success. Instead, it's about measuring your progress against your own potential and striving to become the best version of yourself. It's a personal journey, one that requires you to look inward, be honest with yourself, and assess your actions, thoughts, and habits without the bias of perfectionism. If you want to truly grow, you must start by being brutally honest with yourself about where you are and where you want to go. One of the first steps in tracking your growth is establishing a consistent practice of daily reflection. This doesn't need to be an overwhelming or time-consuming task, but it does require discipline and a commitment to looking back at the day with a clear and honest lens. The power of daily reflection is in its consistency. By reflecting every day, you create a habit of self-awareness that allows you to catch small mistakes before they become patterns and celebrate small victories before they slip away unnoticed. Every day offers a new opportunity to learn, adapt, and improve. And through reflection, you create the space to fully absorb those lessons. It's important to approach this practice with an open mind. Self-reflection isn't about beating yourself up or dwelling on mistakes. It's about learning from your experiences. Ask yourself questions that allow you to evaluate your actions with curiosity rather than judgment. What did I do well today? What could I have done differently? What am I proud of, and what would I change? These types of questions allow you to take an honest inventory of your day without becoming discouraged by your shortcomings or overly confident in your successes. A key component of effective daily reflection is acknowledging both your successes and your failures. It's easy to look at your mistakes and become disheartened, especially if you feel like you've been working hard without seeing immediate results. But failure is a crucial part of growth. And it's only through recognizing and learning from our mistakes that we can improve. On the flip side, it's just as important to celebrate the small victories, the things you did well, the progress you made, the discipline you showed, and the resilience you demonstrated in the face of challenges. Growth isn't always about grand achievements. It's about consistent small steps that lead to significant change over time. By acknowledging both your successes and failures, you give yourself the full picture of where you are in your journey and where you still need to go. In addition to acknowledging successes and failures, tracking your growth requires you to measure your progress in a tangible way. This could mean keeping a journal, using a tracking app, or simply writing down your thoughts and reflections at the end of each day. By making your progress visible, you create a sense of accountability that can help keep you motivated. Tracking your growth allows you to see patterns emerge. What habits are serving you? What actions are moving you toward your goals? And which areas of your life require more attention? It also gives you a chance to look back over time and see how far you've come, which can be a powerful reminder that even when progress feels slow, you're still moving forward. Another vital aspect of tracking your growth is ensuring that your reflections are aligned with your goals and values. This means that your self-assessment should be based not only on your achievements, but also on whether those achievements align with your long-term vision. Success isn't just about checking boxes off a to-do list. It's about aligning your actions with the life you want to create. For example, if your goal is to become more disciplined, then tracking how consistent you are with your daily habits becomes an important part of your reflection. Similarly, if your goal is to improve your mindset, tracking your emotional reactions and how you handle stress or setbacks can help you identify areas of growth. It's important to remember that growth is rarely linear. There will be days when you feel like you're making huge strides, and there will be days when you feel like you're stuck or moving backward. Both of these experiences are natural. The key is to stay committed to the process and trust that your growth is happening even on the days when it feels invisible. Daily reflection allows you to see that even on the days when progress seems slow, you're still learning and evolving. In fact, the days when you face challenges are often the ones that teach you the most about yourself and provide the greatest opportunities for growth. Embrace the full range of experiences, both the highs and the lows, as part of the process of becoming a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. Another benefit of tracking your growth through honest daily reflection is that it helps you stay grounded in the present moment. It's easy to get caught up in the rush to achieve the next goal or reach the next milestone, but growth happens in the moment. When you take the time each day to reflect on where you are, you bring yourself back to the present and allow yourself to fully experience the journey. This grounding effect not only improves your ability to focus, but also allows you to appreciate the progress you've made rather than constantly chasing the next thing. The act of reflection helps you cultivate gratitude for where you are, which is essential for maintaining a positive mindset and staying motivated over the long term. As you track your growth, it's also important to consider how your reflection fits into the bigger picture of your life. Tracking your growth isn't just about checking off individual goals. It's about understanding how each small step you take fits into the broader context of your life's purpose. Take a step back every now and then and reflect on how your daily actions align with your long-term vision. Are you moving towards the person you want to become? Are your daily choices contributing to the life you want to build? By consistently asking yourself these questions, you can ensure that your daily reflections are helping you stay on track and make adjustments as needed. Over time, the process of daily reflection becomes a powerful tool for self-discovery and personal transformation. As you continue to track your growth with honesty and clarity, you'll begin to notice patterns in your behavior, your thoughts, and your actions. These patterns will provide valuable insights into what's working for you and what's not, allowing you to refine your approach and continue evolving. The more you reflect, the more self-aware you become, and the more you can take ownership of your growth journey. Remember, growth is not a destination. It's a lifelong process, and daily reflection is one of the most powerful tools you have to ensure that you continue to grow, learn, and become the person you are meant to be. Tracking your growth through honest daily reflections is not just a practice. It's a way of life. It's the key to moving forward with intention, purpose, and clarity. It's the process that allows you to continuously improve, adapt, and evolve. When you commit to reflecting on your progress each day, you're not just tracking your growth. You're cultivating the mindset, habits, and discipline necessary to achieve your highest potential. Chapter: Surround yourself with disciplined and focused people. Surrounding yourself with disciplined and focused individuals is one of the most impactful choices you can make for your personal growth. The people you choose to spend time with profoundly influence your mindset, behaviors, and outlook on life. In fact, the influence of your circle can be the catalyst that either propels you forward or holds you back. If you want to elevate your life and achieve the greatness you know you're capable of, you must intentionally seek out those who exude discipline, focus, and commitment to their own personal growth. These individuals become a mirror for your own aspirations and a source of inspiration, motivation, and accountability. The power of association is undeniable. And when you consciously surround yourself with disciplined, focused people, your own discipline and focus naturally follow. One of the first truths to acknowledge is that the people in your life are a reflection of who you are. Think about it. The people you spend the most time with shape your habits, attitudes, and overall approach to life. If you surround yourself with individuals who lack direction, who are constantly distracted, or who lack the drive to push themselves beyond their comfort zones, it's easy to fall into the same patterns. But when you choose to align yourself with those who have a clear purpose, who are committed to their growth, and who hold themselves to high standards, you set yourself up for success. The beauty of surrounding yourself with disciplined and focused individuals is that it creates a ripple effect. The energy, focus, and commitment they bring to the table will start to rub off on you. You'll begin to adopt their mindset, emulate their habits, and internalize their work ethic. It's a natural consequence of spending time with people who live with intention. Their example becomes a constant reminder of what's possible when you remain dedicated to your personal development and growth. This influence doesn't need to be overt or forceful. Simply being in the presence of disciplined individuals can push you to be better, to stay focused, and to avoid the distractions that can derail your progress. Discipline is not a trait that can be faked. It's something that requires daily commitment, consistency, and self-control. When you surround yourself with people who have honed their own discipline, you find yourself drawn into their orbit. You see firsthand how they stay focused, how they push through obstacles, and how they maintain their work ethic even when things get tough. Their example becomes a living blueprint for what discipline looks like in practice. They don't just talk about discipline, they live it day in and day out. And through that, you begin to see what's truly possible when you take ownership of your actions and stay committed to your goals. A key element of being around disciplined individuals is the accountability they bring into your life. Accountability is not always something that comes naturally to us, especially when we're striving for personal growth. It's easy to make excuses or rationalize why we didn't complete a task or take the necessary action toward our goals. However, when you're surrounded by people who are holding themselves accountable to their own standards, it forces you to do the same. Accountability breeds discipline. It forces you to show up, to put in the effort, and to follow through on your promises to yourself and others. When you see the discipline of others, It sparks a desire within you to rise to the same levels, challenges you to ask yourself, am I giving my best effort? Am I staying true to my goals and my word? Moreover, disciplined people are a constant source of inspiration. Their work ethic and focus serve as a reminder of what can be achieved. With consistency and dedication, you start to see that success is not about occasional bursts of effort or motivation. It's about showing up every day, doing the work, and staying true to your vision. The more you are surrounded by individuals who consistently put in the effort, the more you'll realize that success doesn't come from talent alone. It comes from the willingness to do the hard work day in and day out without exception. The discipline they exhibit will ignite something within you, and you'll begin to understand that your own success is inextricably tied to the level of discipline you maintain in your life. In addition to accountability and inspiration, the conversations you have with disciplined individuals will start to shift. When you surround yourself with people who are focused on their goals and who have a clear vision for their lives, the quality of your conversations will rise to a new level. You'll find yourself talking about ideas, strategies, and growth. Instead of engaging in trivial gossip or meaningless distractions, disciplined individuals talk about how to improve, how to grow, how to become better versions of themselves. They don't waste time on negativity or complaining. They focus on solutions and action. These conversations become a catalyst for your own personal development as they challenge you to think more critically, more strategically, and more intentionally about your own life and goals. The beauty of surrounding yourself with disciplined people is that it naturally elevates your standards. As you see them living up to their own standards, you begin to reflect on your own. You start to ask yourself, am I truly living up to my potential? Am I settling for less than I'm capable of? Am I holding myself to the highest standards possible? These are the types of questions that arise when you surround yourself with individuals who demand the best from themselves and who expect the same from you. Their influence forces you to confront any complacency in your own life and push beyond your comfort zone. You begin to raise the bar for yourself, knowing that the people around you are expecting nothing less than your best effort. Surrounding yourself with disciplined and focused people also helps to protect you from distractions. Life is full of temptations and distractions that can pull us away from our goals. It's easy to get sidetracked by social media, entertainment, or other things that provide short-term satisfaction, but ultimately detract from our long-term success. However, when you're around people who prioritize their goals, who stay focused, and who value their time and energy, it becomes easier to stay on track. Their presence serves as a constant reminder of the importance of focusing on what truly matters. You become less susceptible to distractions because you're constantly reminded that your time is your most valuable resource and you must guard it with discipline and focus. The discipline of others can also provide an important sense of community and camaraderie. Personal growth can often feel like a solitary journey, and it's easy to feel isolated when you're striving to improve. But when you surround yourself with people who share your values and goals, you gain a sense of belonging and support. You realize that you're not alone in your pursuit of greatness. Others are on the same path, striving for the same level of excellence. This sense of shared purpose creates a powerful bond and reinforces the idea that growth is not only possible, but also achievable. when you have the right support system in place. Ultimately, surrounding yourself with disciplined and focused individuals is one of the best decisions you can make for your personal growth. Their influence will challenge you, inspire you, and push you to be better every day. Through their accountability, example, and support, you will naturally elevate your own standards and take your growth to the next level. The people you choose to surround yourself with shape your future. Choose wisely and make sure you are surrounded by those who will elevate you, inspire you, and help you become the best version of yourself. Chapter: Make your actions match your deepest values. When you align your actions with your deepest values, life takes on a sense of clarity and purpose that is unparalleled. It's easy to get caught up in the chaos of day-to-day life, losing sight of what truly matters. Yet, it's in the moments of reflection that we begin to realize how deeply our values shape the decisions we make, the relationships we cultivate, and the goals we pursue. Your values are the internal compass that guides you through life. And when your actions reflect those values, everything starts to fall into place. You feel more confident, more at peace, and more in control. The reason is simple. When what you do on the outside matches what you believe on the inside, you experience a harmony that grounds you in every situation. The reality is that values are not just abstract concepts. They are the bedrock of how we show up in the world. If you value integrity, your actions will reflect that by being honest and doing what's right, even when no one is watching. If you value personal growth, you will seek opportunities to expand your knowledge, develop new skills, and push yourself beyond your comfort zone. The power of aligning your actions with your deepest values is that it creates a life of consistency, where what you do is a direct reflection of who you are and what you stand for. This is not only fulfilling, but it also builds trust with others and strengthens your own self-respect. When your actions match your values, there is a profound sense of authenticity. There's no pretending, no wearing a mask, and no trying to be someone you're not. You're simply being true to who you are. And that authenticity breeds confidence. People are drawn to authenticity. They can sense when someone is genuinely aligned with their beliefs, and they respect that unwavering commitment. Whether you realize it or not, your actions speak louder than your words, and when they reflect your core values, they become a beacon of truth that others can trust. This, in turn, creates deeper, more meaningful connections with those around you. It's easy to get lost in the noise of external expectations, the pressures of society, the opinions of others, and the desire to fit in. But when you start to tune out the distractions and listen to your inner voice, you reconnect with your values. These are the truths that resonate with your soul, the principles that, when followed, lead to a fulfilling and purposeful life. The challenge lies not in discovering these values, but in committing to live them out day in and day out. The true test of character comes when we are faced with situations that test our integrity, our courage, and our resolve. When we are able to make choices that align with our values, even in the face of discomfort or opposition, we begin to experience the true power of living authentically. Living in alignment with your values isn't always easy. It requires discipline, introspection, and the courage to say no to things that don't serve your higher purpose. It's about making choices that reflect your commitment to yourself and your vision for your life. It's about setting boundaries with others and learning to prioritize what truly matters. And it's about having the strength to walk away from situations, relationships, and opportunities that don't align with your values, even when it seems like the easier or more popular option. One of the most powerful aspects of aligning your actions with your values is that it cultivates inner peace. When there is no conflict between what you believe and how you act, you feel a sense of peace that transcends external circumstances. Life becomes simpler because you no longer have to juggle multiple personas or feel torn between competing desires. You are free to be yourself, to live from your heart, and to follow a path that feels true to who you are. This peace is not just a fleeting emotion, but a deep-rooted sense of contentment that comes from knowing you are living a life of purpose. In the absence of this alignment, however, life can feel fragmented and disconnected. You may find yourself constantly battling internal contradictions, questioning your decisions and second-guessing your actions. This conflict drains your energy and leaves you feeling uncertain about the direction of your life. When your actions are out of sync with your values, it can feel like you're walking through life with one foot in the right direction and the other in a completely different one. This misalignment causes confusion, stress, and frustration, and can lead to a sense of purposelessness. But when you begin to make conscious choices that reflect your deepest values, you eliminate this internal struggle. You stop living for the approval of others and start living for yourself, which allows you to fully embrace your potential. This kind of alignment requires constant self-awareness and reflection. You must be willing to regularly assess your actions and ask yourself whether they are in harmony with your values. It's a process of checking in with yourself, acknowledging when you've strayed off course, and recalibrating to get back on track. This may involve difficult conversations, uncomfortable truths, and tough decisions, but it is all part of the journey toward a life that is truly authentic and meaningful. It's about being honest with yourself, acknowledging your weaknesses, and continually striving to grow into the person you know you're capable of becoming. To live in alignment with your values also means making sacrifices. You cannot hold on to everything and expect to live a life of true purpose. This may involve letting go of certain relationships that no longer serve your growth, eliminating distractions that pull you away from your goals, or choosing the harder path because it aligns with your principles. The sacrifices are not easy, but they are necessary. Each sacrifice you make in favor of your values strengthens your commitment to your own growth and reinforces your sense of self-respect. It's through these sacrifices that you build the foundation for a life that is congruent with your deepest beliefs. When your actions reflect your values, you also become a role model for others. People are inspired by those who live authentically and with purpose. Your example shows them what is possible when you align your life with your deepest truths. This creates a ripple effect as others begin to question their own actions and how they are living in relation to their values. The impact you have on those around you is far greater than you may realize. You inspire others to step into their own truth, to make choices that are in line with their highest selves, and to live a life of integrity and purpose. Living a life that reflects your deepest values doesn't mean that challenges will cease. Life is full of ups and downs, and there will always be obstacles to overcome. But when your actions are aligned with your values, you approach these challenges with clarity and determination. You know that the path you are on is the right one, and you have the strength to persevere no matter the difficulty. The obstacles you face become opportunities for growth, because each time you choose to act in alignment with your values, you become stronger and more resilient. Each decision, no matter how small, builds momentum toward a life of greater fulfillment and purpose. Ultimately, aligning your actions with your deepest values is a journey of self-discovery, self-mastery, and self-respect. It's a commitment to live authentically, to do what is right even when it's difficult, and to be true to yourself in every aspect of your life. It's about honoring your own beliefs and allowing those beliefs to guide every decision you make. When you do this, you unlock a level of personal power and fulfillment that is beyond measure. You become unstoppable because you are living with purpose, passion, and conviction. Your actions no longer feel like obligations. They become expressions of who you are and what you believe. And in doing so, you create a life that is aligned with your highest potential. A life that is truly worth living. Chapter: Fix your sleep and master your daily rhythm. The quality of your sleep is one of the most overlooked factors in determining how effectively you can pursue your goals, perform at your best, and maintain a balanced, resilient mindset. Sleep is not a luxury. It is a necessity. Without it, your ability to think clearly, handle stress, make decisions, and maintain focus diminishes significantly. Mastering your daily rhythm, essentially aligning your actions, energy, and sleep patterns, forms the foundation for sustained success, personal growth, and well-being. If you want to unlock your highest potential, you must start by fixing your sleep and creating a routine that nurtures both your physical and mental vitality. The importance of sleep goes far beyond just feeling rested. While it's easy to assume that a few restless nights are harmless, over time, sleep deprivation accumulates, affecting not just your energy levels, but your cognitive abilities, emotional stability, and long-term health. Research has consistently shown that chronic sleep deprivation leads to impaired memory, decreased attention span, and a lack of motivation. But the effects of poor sleep go even deeper, influencing your mood, your stress resilience, and your overall ability to perform at your best. When you don't sleep well, your body and brain simply aren't functioning at their full capacity. On the other hand, when you commit to fixing your sleep and improving your daily rhythm, you're setting yourself up for success in every area of your life. When you sleep deeply and consistently, your brain has the opportunity to reset, process information, and prepare for the day ahead. Your body can repair itself, and your muscles can recover, allowing you to tackle physical challenges with greater endurance. Sleep also plays a crucial role in regulating your mood and emotional balance. It helps to stabilize hormones related to stress and happiness, ensuring you wake up feeling energized, calm, and ready to take on the day. Creating a daily rhythm that includes quality sleep begins with understanding your natural circadian rhythms. These are the internal processes that regulate your sleep-wake cycle and other physiological functions. Your body operates on an internal clock that is influenced by factors such as light, temperature, and consistency. When you align your sleep schedule with these natural rhythms, You improve the quality of your rest and increase your chances of waking up feeling refreshed and ready to tackle your goals. It's not just about going to bed early or getting enough hours of sleep. It's about creating an environment and routine that supports your body's natural need for rest. One of the most important steps in fixing your sleep and mastering your daily rhythm is setting a consistent bedtime and wake-up time. Your body thrives on routine. By going to bed and waking up at the same time each day, you help regulate your internal clock and ensure that your sleep cycles remain uninterrupted. It's tempting to stay up late or sleep in on the weekends, but this disrupts your rhythm and can lead to what's known as social jet lag. This occurs when your body's natural sleep-wake cycle is misaligned with your activities, leading to fatigue, irritability, and difficulty concentrating. To fix this, commit to going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Your body will adjust over time, and you'll start waking up feeling more refreshed and energized. Creating the ideal sleep environment is also crucial for getting the quality rest you need. Your bedroom should be a sanctuary for relaxation and rejuvenation. Begin by ensuring that your space is dark, quiet, and cool. Darkness helps signal to your body that it's time to wind down, while a quiet environment reduces distractions and enhances relaxation. Keeping the temperature cool between 2 deg F or 2 deg C is ideal for deep sleep, as your body naturally cools down as it enters rest mode. Make sure that your bed is comfortable and supportive, and eliminate any unnecessary clutter that might disrupt your mental peace. Beyond the physical environment, it's essential to manage your activities leading up to bedtime. The hours before sleep are crucial for setting the tone of your rest. Chapter: Commit to becoming better no matter the cost. Committing to becoming better no matter the cost is not a casual decision. It's a profound commitment that requires a deep understanding of the consequences, the sacrifices, and the rewards. This journey is not for the faint of heart. It is for those who are willing to embrace discomfort, to face their weaknesses head on, and to make decisions that will push them to grow beyond their current limits. But here's the truth. It's in that struggle, in the relentless pursuit of growth, that you will find the strength, the resilience, and the wisdom that will change your life forever. The world is full of distractions, excuses, and moments of weakness. It is easy to give in, to take the path of least resistance, to let yourself off the hook when things get tough. But if you want to achieve greatness, if you want to live a life of purpose and fulfillment, you must be willing to commit to being better no matter what. This commitment means that you are constantly striving to improve, to learn, to grow, and to evolve. It means that no matter how difficult the journey becomes, you stay true to your purpose and your vision. You refuse to settle for mediocrity or complacency. You demand more from yourself. And in doing so, you begin to unlock your true potential. The path to self-improvement is not an easy one. It requires discipline, focus, and a willingness to face discomfort. You will be tested. You will face obstacles. You will encounter failures. But these are not reasons to give up. They are the very things that will fuel your growth. Every failure, every setback is an opportunity to learn, to refine, and to push yourself even harder. If you are truly committed to becoming better, you will embrace the challenges that come your way, understanding that they are the stepping stones to your success. One of the most important aspects of this commitment is the understanding that growth does not happen overnight. It is a slow and steady process, and it requires patience. Many people quit too soon because they expect immediate results. They don't see the progress right away, and they become disheartened. But real growth takes time. It takes persistence. It takes the willingness to keep going even when it feels like you're not making progress. But if you stay the course, if you remain committed, you will eventually see the fruits of your labor. Every small improvement you make, every step forward, brings you closer to your ultimate goal. At the heart of this commitment is the willingness to make sacrifices. You cannot become better without giving up something. The road to self-improvement is paved with sacrifices. You may have to give up bad habits, toxic relationships, or time spent on things that do not align with your goals. You may have to forego short-term pleasures for long-term success. These sacrifices can be difficult, but they are necessary if you are to grow. The question you must ask yourself is this: are you willing to pay the price for your own improvement? Are you willing to do what it takes no matter how uncomfortable or challenging it may be? Sacrifice is not always easy, but it is essential. The things you let go of are the very things that are holding you back. Whether it's procrastination, fear, self-doubt, or distractions, these habits and patterns are keeping you stuck in a place of stagnation. If you want to move forward, you must be willing to release these old patterns and embrace new ones that support your growth. This may mean saying no to things that don't serve you, even if they feel good in the moment. It may mean pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone, even when it feels terrifying. But every time you choose growth over comfort, you take one step closer to the person you are becoming. When you commit to becoming better, no matter the cost, you also have to embrace the reality that you will face resistance. There will be moments when it feels like the universe is against you, when every step forward is met with obstacles and setbacks. But this resistance is not something to fear. It is something to embrace. Resistance is the sign that you are on the right path. It means you are pushing against the forces that are trying to hold you back. It means you are challenging yourself to grow beyond your limits. In those moments of resistance, remind yourself that growth is never easy, but it is always worth it. Push through the discomfort, keep moving forward, and know that on the other side of that resistance is the person you are becoming, a stronger, more resilient, more capable version of yourself. Another key aspect of this commitment is the willingness to be brutally honest with yourself. To commit to becoming better, you must first acknowledge where you are right now. You must be willing to confront your weaknesses, your flaws, and your shortcomings. This can be uncomfortable, but it is necessary. If you are not honest with yourself about where you are, you cannot make the changes that are needed to move forward. Be willing to take a hard look at your life, to identify the areas where you are falling short, and to take responsibility for your actions. This is the first step in the process of transformation. Being honest with yourself also means acknowledging the lies and excuses you've been telling yourself. It means facing the truth about your fears, your doubts, and the stories you've been telling yourself about why you can't do something. These stories are not the truth. They are just excuses that are keeping you stuck. When you commit to becoming better, You have to let go of these excuses and embrace the truth of who you are and who you can become. The truth is that you are capable of far more than you realize. The truth is that you have the power to change, to grow, and to create the life you want. But first, you have to be willing to face the truth about yourself and your current reality. As you commit to becoming better, you will begin to develop an unwavering belief in yourself. This belief is not built on arrogance or ego. It is built on the confidence that comes from knowing you are doing the work. When you are committed to your growth, you build a track record of progress. You begin to see the results of your efforts, and this reinforces your belief that you are capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. This belief will carry you through the tough times, the setbacks, and the moments when you feel like giving up. It will remind you that you are on the right path, and that every step you take is bringing you closer to your goal. In the end, committing to becoming better, no matter the cost, is about choosing growth over comfort, progress over stagnation, and discipline over indulgence. It's about recognizing that you have the power to shape your own destiny, and that your success is determined by your willingness to do the work. When you make this commitment, you unlock the potential to create the life you've always dreamed of. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. And every sacrifice you make, every challenge you face, and every step you take will bring you closer to the person you are destined to become. So, ask yourself, are you willing to commit to becoming better no matter the cost? Are you willing to push through the discomfort, to make the sacrifices, and to do whatever it takes to grow? If the answer is yes, then you are already on your way to becoming the best version of yourself. The journey will be long, but it will be worth every single